Yo, 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 yo. Hi. Hello. Good evening. Welcome in. Tarpy says, I have no sound and no picture. Wait, what? No sound and no picture? That's weird. That's weird. I don't know why that would be. Hi. Hi, Tarpy. Hi, Papa Smurf. Hey, Destros. Hi, Wolfwood. Hey, James the Beast. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ultimate DJs. Welcome into this special episode of Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. We are here tonight with a special guest. We have a cruise to redraw. We have special announcements to make. We got giveaways to do. Ladies and gentlemen, Griffin is here. Welcome in to you, sir. How are you? Raj wants to do a server sound off. Okay, we can do it. Let's find out who is hanging out in the studio audience in the Talking Trek. Server sound off, you guys hit it. Raj, see, Raj, that's because he was first. He wanted to start. Raj on server 9, thank you. Welcome into the show. Spectre on 11, Pirate Yar on 34, Papa Smurf on 61, Dr. Juby on 60 and 61 as well, Noon Whistle on 29, Indominus Prime on 53, Jux on 187, Captain Q on 57, thank you, Dragon Keeper on server 63, Smoke Mohawk on 16, Sir Tail on 36, thank you, Enterprise Actual on 13, thank you very much, Scaly back from the Outback on 193, Gherkin on European 184, Mid Strangler on server 9, Tarpy on server 70, Sanguinator on 89, Dr. Iron Chef, Aloha from server 14, Captain Planet on European 167, Adam Drailing on 159. Man, my heart hurts for you, buddy. My heart hurts for you, man. Welcome into the channel. I appreciate you being here. Radical Hunter on 54, Dahagas on server 16. What's going on with all you guys out there, huh? How about Tapman on European 155? Peace or Assimilation on 57. Dastros on 32. Crushin' on 10. Kirok on server 61. Engineer on 88. Shinzola on 153. Bender the Robot on 51. Brandig on 701. Keith on 49. Sasquatch on 26. Crash Override on server 20. Jado on server 97. Silver Tab on 40, and Alicia on 92, Rusty Halo on 80, Vool on server 10, and my goodness gracious me, oh my, Griffin, they have absolutely plumb warm it. Where's Griffin? Griffin is gone. Why? Where is Griffin? He was here just a second ago, and he's gone. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Ultimate DJs. Hello, Commanders. Welcome into the show. We had 120 additional messages in the Talking Trek server sound off, and currently 249 people in the live studio audience. Thank you so very, very much. Griffin disappeared. Where'd he go? Where did he go? Griffin! No, Dragon Keeper, there are no ads.
I'm right here. I'm right here. I've been here.
You were not here. Ladies and gentlemen, Griffin is here. And he's green.
My neck hurts from all the cat away.
He's here and he's green, ladies and gentlemen. Welcoming Green Griffin to the stage. Appreciate you guys all being here. He is green, Dastros, because that's, everything is right in the world if Griffin is green. All right. Griffin is green. Everything is right in the world. Indominus, thank you for your 5 gifted subs. That's beautiful. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Crash Override for the resub. Lost Soul for the resub. Thank you. Raj for the kitty bitties. Bender the Robot. Q. Oh, goodness. Captain's Log for the resubs. Griffin with the tier 3 resub. Thank you, guys. Papa Smurf with the 100 kitty bitties. James the Beast, Into the Dark. Stony Dude, Brado, Sir Tail. You guys all coming in with the resubs. Thank you guys so very much. I appreciate that. Parker, thank you for the new follow. Welcome into the litter box. Stealth Monkey and Captain Bull. Is he that green on the cruise? No, that was me last year.
Yeah, that was definitely you.
That was me last year that was that green. Ladies and gentlemen, Dominus Prime says, can we wrap this up before kickoff? Probably not. But
not happening.
Yeah, football tonight. But we are going to jump right in. We have a lot of stuff to do. Soul, thank you for dropping 2 gifted. Thank you, man. Raj, I missed you too. Ross says, missed you, DJ. I missed you too, man. Thank you. Pavic, thank you for your resub. You guys are incredible. And look at that, already a level 4 hype train complete. We're into level 5. Thank you guys so very much for all of your crazy generosity. And Alicia, thank you for your pity bitty. Thank you guys so very much for being here. My name is Ultimate DJs. Lost Soul says, glad to see you're feeling better. I wasn't feeling bad. I was just exhausted. By doing a Tuesday morning show at 4 a.m., did not quite anticipate the wear and tear that was going to have on this old body. All right? Because I came back ready to do a show that night, and that didn't work. I got home from work. This is a true story. I got home from work. I sat on the couch. I set an alarm for 30 minutes thinking I just need a power nap. I woke up at like 2 in the morning, still wearing my dirty clothes from work. And I was like, okay, well, too late to stream now. So it was time to, I went to bed. Griffin, thank you for your 5,000 kitty bitties. Guys, look at that. You're already halfway to the stream goal today. And we do have battle passes to give away. So if you guys get up there to that 10,000 bitty mark, we'll give away a battle pass as well here tonight, okay? Ladies and gentlemen.
Content to IJ.
Huh? Yeah. Jonathan Ingram has new content on his channel. Got me 3 hours. It was actually the night I fell asleep. It was Tuesday night, wasn't it, Jonathan? It was Tuesday night. I fell asleep 3 hours. 21 trillion.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Mm-hmm. Listen,
when will you learn?
I was making fun of Scopely, but... Hi! My name's DJs. I get rated for hundreds of trillions a month. I am a content creator. I teach you how to play the game.
How not to play.
Don't do what I do. All right, that's enough of that. Ladies and gentlemen.
I told you not to stop at Hooters on the way home on Tuesday. You got blitzed, being passed out on the couch.
21 trillion. 21 trillion is what he got it before. AJ, thank you for your 18-month resub. Ladies and gentlemen, we have all kinds of stuff to do tonight. As a matter of fact, we're actually running a few minutes early. I have some announcements that I want to give you. And so we're going to jump into this here in just a moment because I've got to find 1 or 2 things that I wanted to do. And I've already lost. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. Yeah, we've got some stuff that we got to get to. I also have a couple of announcements that I need to make. Why can I suddenly not find this?
Because this is par for the course. You said that you were running quote unquote early. Now look at you.
No, I got it. Okay, no, I got it. No, everything's good. Everything's good. That's right. I teach you what it means when people talk about shielding or sharing. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I'm teaching you about. All right. So yeah, Nakar says that Monavine pack paying off for Jonathan Ingram in dividends. Yeah, absolutely. Freelancer, thank you for the 200 kitty bitties. Appreciate that. That's right, Recursion. Real men don't use shields. Appreciate it. Hearts of Space is in the chat. What are you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, Hearts of Space, VIP community manager, hiding out in the chat, says, when do I get invited to the show? Buddy, anytime you want. Listen, you could come up here tonight. I don't have anybody important booked. All right.
See, this is why we never have guests on the show.
I know. It's absolutely terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have a special guest and would love to invite Hearts of Space up onto the stage at some point. But what I do have for you here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is a treat nonetheless. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome to the stage. You know him and love him. He is a friendly, adorable little rodent.
Yeah.
He's a rodent. And I have warned him, Griffin. I've warned him because today, this is not the cleanest ARC launch. I am not the happiest kitty.
Oh, yeah.
I even put in the show announcements, and I'm going to be very polite. I'm going to be cordial. But, ladies and gentlemen, Obsidian Hamster is here. to be raked over the coals today. Hammy, welcome into the show.
What's up, Hammy? No coals, don't worry.
There he is. Welcome, Hammy. How you doing,
buddy?
Hi. Welcome in, Hammy. And really, what took me a second is I was trying to find your song. Nice jam, by the way. This is a good one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
What is that? Into the ocean. Oh, it was the song.
Yeah, K.A. Knowledge says, oh no, Hammy's lights are plugged in. Yeah, listen.
You know what that means, everybody? Pop that shield down.
I told him, you guys better go pop your shields, all right?
Yep.
You guys have 3.5 minutes, and the servers are going down, okay?
Sorry, everybody.
That's how this works. I have shared it. I've owned this. I tell everybody, anytime that Hammy's coming on the show, I literally shut down the Scopely servers. It's time for you guys to come and hang out here, okay? So check the servers. Yeah, the lights are even blinking. It's using twice as much power as normal. Normal. All right. So did I put a purple filter on Hammy? No, he's just.
I'm looking a little. Looking a little purpley.
He's just especially pink today. Are you sunburnt from all the fires in the Discord yesterday?
There weren't that many, but that is a good guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, Obsidian Hamster is here. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. You are a wonderful guest and a good sport for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, because it's probably as good as he's going to feel all show. Ladies and gentlemen, one big round of applause for Obsidian Hamster.
I appreciate the applause, but I really don't like how foreboding that statement was.
I know. I am intimidated for you.
Well, listen.
Thank you.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about a thing. By the way, Hammy, do you want me to switch the camera, or do you want to watch? So we have a couple of things to do. I have announcements that I got to make. We've got a lot of questions to get to, but I also owe the community a cruise redraw. Now, Hammy, I invited you up. If you want to do this early, then I can flip the camera around so it's not going to trip you out. Hammy said before the show, he's like, dude, watching this view on camera is going to trip me out, so I can flip it around. But I wanted him to be able to see the stage because we do actually have a redraw for a cruise. Hammy, you know we're giving away the cruise to the Star Trek, the Cruise 8, porting out of Miami in February. We did a draw for this a couple of days ago. Adam Drayling won the Star Trek cruise. I reached out to him, and he lives in Germany. And he was like, dude, he was like, the logistics are just insane. He's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to work this out. He spent a couple of days trying to sort things out and trying to see if he could get it, with the international travel and the visas and passports and all this other stuff. And he finally said, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to pull this off in time. Like, he was like, I never dreamed that I was going to win out of 30,000 tickets, and he had 20 tickets in the pool. He was like, I never dreamed that I was going to win this thing. So he has passed it back to the community, Hammy, which means we have to redraw. We have to redraw. And so what I did is I went through and I removed those 11 tickets like we got the other day. And so now what we've got is truthfully, we've got another draw. 30,000 tickets are still in there, which means Seth has another chance. That means Major Samo has another chance. So Adam Ramble says, so on to the next Adam it is. I mean, maybe. All right. We do have another opportunity. And so for those of you who had really good odds the first time, you have another opportunity. So, ladies and gentlemen, Hammy is on the stage, and Hammy, would you like to assist us in giving away
let's do
this next cruise?
Transporter.
Ho, ho, ho,
Are you
ho,
asking me or not, Mr. Scott?
We've got a cruise, everybody. That's right, Matters. You, everybody else, anybody who's got tickets, you guys have an opportunity. Come on, Hammy, get into it. Fist bump. Fist bump. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to give away. Matter says, does this mean we won't get to listen to this song for a long time? No, we'll probably still play it a lot. We'll probably still play it a lot.
Go with the whole show.
Star Trek
Yeah, Hammy's doing some Richard Simmons stuff right there. Now
Heck
work
yeah.
it out. Work it out. Work it out. Work it out. Work it out.
I
Work it
know.
out.
That's
Work it
I
out.
call that it's the greatest dance of all time. It's called the Sky Punch. It's just
Yeah. All right. No, Captain Q, it's not a redraw from the original 10. It is a completely fresh redraw per the rules. It is a completely fresh redraw from all remaining eligible entries. There is no longer a top 10. That's it. Not a top 10.
wow.
Not a top 11. Not a draw. It is one draw. It is right down. I can't. There. Down there. It's right down there. One ticket.
Oh boy.
Out of 30,000. Okay. Kinky Boot says, please make this draw quicker than last time. I had enough of the song last time. I can see it.
Definitely don't win then, because you hear this about 12 hours a day on the
You're going to hear this at least 3 to 4 times an hour on the boat. I'm just saying. You don't want to win then if you don't want to hear it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to make this nice, quick, and easy. Star Trek The Cruise. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
It's when I hit the button, obviously, because it's Google Sheets and it's 30,000 large data set. It's going to take about 25, 30 seconds. Are you guys
it's like
ready?
pulling in the game.
Yeah, it's like trying to open your daily gifts.
The multi-phasing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, with the sliders.
It's like trying to pull a slider, or maybe waiting on the respawn of an ISS Enterprise. I don't know.
Oh no, I know.
The new Hamster slider.
Yeah, just trying to. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I know, Smokeball. It's like finding a loot goblin. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. No further ado. Let's get it on. Here we go. 30 seconds, 20 seconds. How long is it going to take? Google is thinking. Hashtag Goblin Gate. That's going to be something we talk about tonight. Absolutely. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You see it on your screen. I'm hands off, Griffin. I'm hands off. What's going to happen?
It's like the Barstool win and winner. And
it's like waiting on daily reset. Let's go. Come on. Come on, lag.
And winner.
Winner. Kid Run. Congratulations to you. Kenran, you've just won a free cruise aboard Star Trek The Cruise. Congratulations to you. All right. Otter says, is someone going to do the math on not getting Samo twice from the same data set? I don't know.
1 in 5 chance. 1 in 6 or 5.
She had 5,000 some entries, if I'm not mistaken. 5,000 entries. So there you go. See how many tickets he had. All right, we can do that. Coming over here, we're going to click on the button. We're going to find Kenrun. There we go. Display Kenrun. Why didn't I do anything? Clear. Maybe I didn't do it right. Kenrun. Check his name. Click on the box. Oh my God. He had six tickets. What? God, man. These guys need to go buy lottery tickets or something. 6 tickets. Six tickets. Look.
That is wild.
Count it. That is insane.
Bananas.
What are the odds of that? Somebody do the math on that. 6 out of 30,000. And you're right, Dennis. It only takes 1 ticket. That's what I said last week. It only takes 1.
100%.
1 in 5,000.
There you go. Look, Adam Drayling is like, nice. I mean, the same kind of thing. I mean, yeah, it's absolutely insane. Adam only had 20 tickets when he won. That is wild. Swimbot says, no, they should not buy lottery tickets. They've just used up 10 years of luck.
I agree with that.
And Venadia says 0.02% chance.
Yeah.
How does someone manage to have that few? That would be 3 months at a tier 2 or a tier 1 Twitch sub or a Patreon membership, a $5 Patreon membership. That's what that was.
Although I can also argue somebody with only 4 entries, maybe not statistically likely to end up being contacted and accepted. We might be drawn again in a week, man.
Well, we've got 5 days. I'm going to send the message tonight, and we are going to see if Kinran is going to be able to go on the cruise with us. So, Indominus says redraw. I got to give him his time now. Adam got his time. Anybody know if Kinran lives overseas? Everybody start messaging Kinran. All right, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you guys all being here. Listen, all right, time to get down to business, real business. All right, I am going to change this over so Hammy doesn't get a migraine. Hammy, is that better for you, buddy?
Oh.
You good now?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, fantastic. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate you guys all for being here. I have a couple of announcements that I would like to make first very quickly regarding a few things that I said or did that might have been incorrect. All right. For example, I now can definitively tell you, thankfully, that Scopely did not make this boneheaded error. Rather, it was me. On the Epic officer this month, Dejosh Tolra, her officer ability is on round start. It will proc.
You were so adamant. You were so set in your trenches there. And we're just like silently going, I'm texting Matters back and forth. Do you think? I was like, no, that's not.
It is on round start. I can confirm that each round you will have that opportunity at proc.
On behalf of everybody, I would like to say gracefully, apology accepted.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Hammy. Appreciate it. Don't you worry. You'll get your turn. Okay? Don't you worry.
We can no. We can go back and let's talk about the cruise more. Man, that's crazy. He only had like 6. That's nuts.
You'll get your turn, buddy.
Have we really talked about that enough?
You're going to get your turn here, okay? Don't you worry. So the round start on the Epic, all right? I do have another thing that I was wrong on, but this is not good. I incorrectly, now get ready for pitchforks here, Hammy. I incorrectly stated that the new temporal artifacts would be in the temporal refinery. Hammy, do you want to let that bomb drop, or you just want me to go ahead and rip that Band-Aid off?
You can rip that Band-Aid off.
All right,
You're kind of
they
on a roll.
will not appear in the temporal refinery for the unlock.
Oh.
This is what drives me nuts, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit more about this later. They will appear in the temporal refinery after you have paid for the unlock, and they will then use temporal disruptors for the upgrade. So that's right. They are non-temporal temporal artifacts. They will use temporal disruptors for the upgrade, but they will not proc their bundles until you have paid to unlock the shards. That is, of course, this month, so that will hopefully change in the future. Now, Matters, I believe, is on the stage, and I kind of want to point out, oops, I forgot to, hold on, I got to move you down just a shade. There we go. Thank you. So, Matters is on the stage, and Matters, you said, well, it's not all doom and gloom DJs because free-to-play still have an opportunity to grind out the temporal artifacts. That was the content that they were going to get this month. Nope, sorry. No grinding of that with temporal disruptors. That's going to be a paid-only thing. I incorrectly relayed that. Also,
it was very early in the morning, so you're forgiven.
It was early in the morning. Now, I do have one piece of vindication that I want to throw out. A lot of people had talked. We've been talking a lot about the loot goblin, which is going to be the first thing that I touch on today. Okay, that's the first thing that we're going to talk about. And I did some math. I was told.
Did some math or doing some math now?
Doing some now. I was told. Thank you. Actually, I gathered the data, but I forgot to sum it all up. So I was told on Arkfall Day by people who thought that the loot goblin problem is not a problem. I was told that by not utilizing any loot goblins, you had enough to source the entire Liquid D refinery every single day. Do we remember people talk about that, Griffin? We said that.
Oh, yeah. We didn't. We said wrong.
Yeah, that is factually incorrect, and I'm here to actually show you that now. or not show you. I'm going to read it to you. You get a daily drip of 350. You can earn another 1,200 through your A refinery. You will earn 4,000. And by the way, my refinery is level 12. Your guys is not everybody's is this good, FYI. 4,000 every 3 days, which averages out to 1,667. And then you're going to get 460 from the protector. Okay, 460 from the protector. If you add all those up, and I am going to use 1667, that's a daily, and it's fixed, so we can use it on the average. All right, you're going to earn 3,677 a day.
Not bad, but not enough.
Well, you've got mirror efficiencies that cost 600 apiece. So there's 1,800 if you did them all. Now, by the way, in my calculation, I only counted 2, Hammy. I only counted 2 because a lot of people probably not pulling all 3. Okay?
I don't, yeah.
Sorry, that's right. They're 300 apiece. 300 apiece, Destros. I counted 600 in the math. That's right. 300 apiece. Sorry, I spoke incorrectly. 300 apiece. I counted 600 in my math. 2 out of the 3.
Yep. District
56 building cost 125. The Forbidden Technology bundle costs 400. The holodeck costs 350. The Forbidden Technology or the Forbidden Technology shard pull. If you want those, those are 400, and that's if you want them. Okay. Resources 1,650. The Tear Up Catalyst, 730. NX01 Officers, 750. Mirror Dust, 810. And I didn't even count the keys because I told you guys I wouldn't.
Okay.
That puts you at a net negative of 3,139 a day.
Or 5 loot goblins.
Or 5 loot goblins. Okay. Now, you're right. 3,139 could be done in a couple of different ways. Everywhere It Matters says unless you have the prime, still not enough because that only boosts that one refinery. Okay? But prime is pay only, in all fairness. And by the way, we are talking about paid content. We're going to talk about the protector. You also could do that with one wave, if I'm not mistaken. Is it one wave going to pay out 3,100? I'm pretty sure one wave can pay out. One level 10 wave could pay 3,100 credits. Is that? No. Vul says only 800. 800, which means you would have to play in 4 waves at level 10 to make up the rest of your liquid D.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Now, Wade points out that the prime boosts both Trell A and D. All right, fair enough. What does it do? Does it double it? I don't have the prime, so in all fairness, you guys tell me. What does the prime do? Does it double? Because that means that you're going to pick up an extra 2,800 a day.
It is a double, yes.
Okay, so that's 20. Hold on, am I doing my math right? 1,667 plus 16. So you're going to get 1,667 plus 1,200. That is still only 2,800 a day. So you're still going to be 300 short. So even with a $100 prime, you would still have to run a wave every single day. Now, I'm going to come back. I'm going to circle back around because you guys told me I was wrong. And I wanted to make sure, because if I was wrong, I was going to sit down. But guys, the argument that I made on Tuesday is exactly the argument that I'm making now. It is all about the liquid D. For the record, I do not care about the keys. I know some people do, and they can, and they should, and that's their right. Okay? Because that's how the loop presented. My concern is the liquid Trellium D. Okay? And I have definitively proven that my statement, which was you do not have enough liquid Trellium D without the loot goblins to fully utilize the liquid D store. Now, I'm going to also remind you and take you back to when Mr. Tiger was on this stage. And while he didn't say anything specific, his words were, we are going to see massive loosening of the premium rift keys and the liquid D. We are going to see so much of it poured into the community. You guys are not going to complain about the lack of liquid Trillium D. Do we remember that interview? He didn't say specific. He didn't say how. He just said, you guys give it 30 to 60 days. No one is going to worry about it. Now, and by the way, JB, you're absolutely right. Nothing that we're talking about refinery options right now. We haven't even begun to talk about the upgrade costs of all of the Mirror Universe officers that are now out here.
Yeah, leave that out of that equation. That's a completely different story.
And for the record, the amount of now this is obviously dependent on officer shards and probably a very whaley perspective. Jules Verne would be quick to point out that you can't count on tier 5 shards and all that stuff. This is the same conversation we had with the Borg active nanoprobes a long time ago. Okay? But you are looking at over 250,000 liquid Trillium D if you maxed all Mirror Universe officers.
It's a lot.
Okay? Mentor says I'm wrong on that. He's calculating 560,000. Okay? Now, Nakar says you got to choose what you do with it just like everything else. And you know what? 99% of the time, Nakar, I would agree with you. I have been on this stage and preached choice. I have been on this stage and said there's strategy. You got to choose. You got to figure out which way you're going to go. But that's always in the beginning, right? That's always up front. You guys, it's so weird. We are in the Mirror Universe. Because I'm usually the one defending this, and you guys are usually the ones saying, I want to do it all, and I want to do it all right now. You guys, remember the Vidar Tally refinery? You guys lost your minds. You lost your ever-loving minds when the Vidar Tally came out. Okay? So I'm going to point out that it's not quite so wild for me to say, listen, I get that up front. But then when you release a paid piece of content, and now, finally, after my rant and my soapbox, I'm going to bring Hammy in. When you release a paid piece of content that for 30 days is allowed to go on, allowing players to believe that this is the way it works. Your content creators are out there talking about how this works. People purchased that ship, Hammy, because of how we showed it to be working.
Well,
Hammy, people, people in this chat right here said, you know what? You've convinced me. I'm going to go. And you guys launched a half of a pack ship. At the end of the arc, you guys launched a $50 half pack for people who had already gotten it and wanted to go ahead and bang it out.
Right.
Now, if last night on Samo's show, you said that this was a communication failure, that you guys knew it was a bug. Hammy, I cannot get behind that dude. I understand, but that is not an excuse for what happened on Tuesday. Talk to us a little bit about the decision-making process and where we landed. What ended up happening?
Honestly, right out the gate, the biggest thing was the communications aspect of this. We should have let players know on day one in August or on day one of the ARC launch that this was a bug, that this was not something that was intentional to happen. And the way that we did it on Tuesday, I will fully admit that was not done well at all. Like, we should not have had something in game for a month that players get used to, and then just remove it, after that without any communication whatsoever. And I feel horrible about this. This is one of the biggest failures on my part since I've been doing this job. We should have let players know that this was not intentional. And the other thing was to also ratchet it back up to 25 to 30 days immediately was also incorrect. Now, you and I have talked about this extensively. Very quickly, we did pivot and were able to bring it down to 2.5 to 9 minutes, which is an improvement. It's not as good as it used to be. What was it, at 30 seconds before? Not nearly as good.
Me personally, my experience was probably between 1.5 and 2 minutes. I know some people have said, and I've even seen some Scopely staffers say, well, surely you didn't think that seconds was intended. It wasn't seconds. Okay, it really legitimately was not seconds. All right, it was probably, at the very least, it was a minute, maybe a minute and a half. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that both sides need to be really fair about this. Scopely can't come out and say, well, it wasn't supposed to happen, immediately after a few seconds. It wasn't. It wasn't happening every few seconds. It was already at 60 to 90 minutes, or 60 to 90 seconds, all right? So I agree that and I'm going to call this a knee-jerk reaction. I don't even know. I have to ask what was perceived about this to be that disastrous of a bug? Like, when you guys are talking about it, let's assume for a minute that it was a failed communication, that the entire Scopely offices knew that you guys were going to roll this back. I've said this to Echo before. I've said it to Panic. I've said it to Ares. I've said it to every community manager that's rolled through here. I appreciate you falling on the sword. You don't have to do that here, okay? But I know that's your job, and you're going to fall on the sword for this communication issue. But this is not on you, dude. This was not a drop in communications. It might have been a drop in internal communications. They didn't tell you, okay? You did not know this. You did not, so you don't need to fall on this sword. But what I want to know is, why did Scopely think this was such a huge deal that it had to be reverted? What was the problem with this?
Yeah, and honestly, that conversation I wasn't a part of. I get where you're coming from, because something like this, where we do have it in game for a month, and then all of a sudden change it without any comms. I don't know. I get where the frustration, and honestly, what was it? Official lit up about it, and this is a conversation that I've had with a lot of players that you and I have talked about this extensively.
Sure. And
I've gone back to the team to try and figure out where the communication breakdown was. But I'll maintain that, as someone who has been focused on improving comms with players for as long as I've been doing this job, this feels like the biggest failure, that we weren't able to communicate this. And at least had we announced it back when it actually happened, we could have the dialogue during August, or we can have a dialogue during those weeks and maybe get the change to be permanent. But because we never let players know about that never happened. And when this did happen on Tuesday, I think we did it probably in the worst way that could have been done.
There has been a long-standing rule, I guess, of Scopely's that you've got to be careful when people spend money on a mechanic. Benny Hill points out in the chat, people purchase that ship based on the mechanics that we saw. And with lack of communication to indicate otherwise, that is the gameplay that people expected. So when somebody buys that ship and then this type of mechanic is changed, it is very realistically, Hammy, perceived as a nerf. All right? And this is a nerf of a paid piece of content. Now, Scopely has been very careful about avoiding that scenario in 5 years past. I'm curious why they are not worried about that scenario here, because that is very much what happened. This is a nerf to a paid piece of content. So I don't want to spend all night on this, but Hammy, I told you this was going to be a very important thing for me.
Yeah.
And a very important thing for the community, I think, our listeners, because we were very adamant. We praised this arc, the Mirror Universe as a whole, just the wrap up to it. This was about as good a loop as ever has been introduced, with a close, with a door on the exit, And I said this the other day. It feels weird for Scopely to come out and say that the best arc they ever designed was an accident.
I do not want to at all in any way diminish what you're talking about. The one thing I would say about the Protector is that it does have a lot of uses outside of its ability to go after the NE hostiles. Like, the refinery alone is pretty awesome.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, though, Hammy. The refinery, the liquid D that fuels the refinery. I'm not talking about just because you know what? It's a great miner too. I'm not fussing about that. But we just did 5 minutes of math a minute ago about the refinery. Yeah. So I think you're making my point here, Hammy. The refinery is where the value is, and I can no longer utilize it in the same way I could last month after the ship was purchased. You see what I'm saying? Like, that purchase provides the liquid D that allows players to engage in that refinery, which you guys are saying is the primary chief reward. That's a pretty big deal.
Right, but there are other ways to get Trillium D beyond just the ISS hostiles, right? Like, you can actually go in and mine. You can go after hostiles. You can do a combination. You don't have to focus solely on the ISS and the hostiles, right?
You're not going to get refined liquid D anymore. You can mine with it, but we counted that income. We counted that income. We counted we counted him the refinery liquid D income when we were doing our math earlier. What we're talking about are that these loot goblins actually drop refined liquid D. And what you're talking about, the other hostiles and the mining, that's all raw. It has to be refined. We counted that income.
Right.
What made these loot goblins so amazing is that they did drop liquid D, which circles me all the way back. That is the value of this ship.
That's the problem. Yeah.
And it's not just unlocking the ship, because the more you upgrade the ship, the better your refinery is going to be. The more you upgrade the ship, the more the new currency you'll get to unlock the research in the first part of the MU that was added last month, and thus the more of the loot goblins you are going to be able to hit. There's a research specifically for that purpose, which is why, for example, in my case, I took mine up to tier 13. That was not inexpensive, and I would not have made that decision, just be honest, if that loot goblin mechanic were not a part of the game, because I'd be just as fine and happy mining with a lower tier ship, and I'd be happy with the refinery at a lower tier, because it is what it is. But you present in the game an opportunity to really speed up that entire mechanic by getting 6,000 liquid Trillium D in one run of hitting these things. And man, that just set the whole game on fire.
Ooh, thank you.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Then to read, to your point, in the patch notes and the bug fix that said that something had changed, but not to the dollar or to the time amount that it had.
Yeah.
That's what led me and DJs to literally sit on stream and, run a count of how long it took for this thing to respond. And Hammy, I broke my clock. Look at the glass. I broke the clock.
Wait, nobody told me. Hey, nobody told me there'd be props. Nobody told me there'd be props tonight.
I broke my clock.
This is an ambush. This is a prop ambush.
He Hulk smashed the clock. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. All right,
I turned green and my clock went flying.
Yeah, you should have brought your own props. Hammy, you've got the tree. Everything's fine. The servers are crashing. Everything's good. 26 minutes. Now, granted, I want to again, I don't want to ride on this, but I do want to say a couple of thanks. I do want to thank you, Hammy, and I want to thank especially Sierra Uniform. You guys know Sierra. And she was the one, her and Simpali were the ones dealing with me at 4 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So that was not pleasant nor fun. I can assure you. They are amazing, and I had conversations with both of them, and I'm very, very grateful to both of them for the hard work they put into the players, because ultimately we did get we got game design to come back and drop the cooldown. Now, I appreciate that gesture. Okay, and by the way, if it was 2.5 minutes, I would probably back off this thing, because in my mind, we're talking about a difference of 1 minute, 90 seconds maybe. Okay,
that's no problem.
My problem with this still comes to the 9 minutes, and I'm going to give you a scenario. Okay, I'm going to give you a scenario, Hammy. We have limited time in the Mirror Universe, 20 to 30 minutes tops. Okay, depending on the time of day that you play, there are other players that exist in the Mirror Universe. There are other players playing in there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you go up there and you are fortunate enough to grab a hostile, a loot goblin, and there's somebody else in that system but they grabbed it from you instead. And now your timer has started over. You might have run into Omega Space and not gotten one at all. Raj Al Ghul ran 6 runs to the Mirror Universe today. He averaged them all out, and his average was about 7 minutes. Okay?
Wow.
That is, in my opinion, and this is where I'm going to appeal to you, and then we can move off the subject. 2.5 to 9 minutes is still not acceptable. It is not good enough for the value that will mathematically be removed by this change. I implore Scopely, and I appreciate the fact that they came out and made this adjustment, but it has to be 2.5 to 4 minutes. 2.5 to 5 at the and really, honestly, 5 is too long, because if you get somebody else in the system with you, you're done. All right.
It's like that Voyager special hostile all over again.
So I feel like I appreciate the gesture, and I'm going to be very, very careful with my words, because I appreciate that low end being 2.5 minutes, but the high end being 9 minutes. I feel like you guys didn't actually take my complaint seriously. Okay, and I know that you did. I know that you did. But 9 minutes to 26 minutes, Hammy, really there's no difference. By the time you spend your run in Mirror Universe, some people can't even last the timer. Some people are grinding and don't even last the full timer. So, sure. And then if there's one other player in the system with you who grabs that hostile before you could literally come home and not have one. So 9 minutes, I feel, is still too long. I'm not sure why there was that span of 2.5 to 9. You still have travel time in there.
You feel that way because you can't even last 2 more minutes, obviously.
I'm not going to play it right now. I'm being serial. Okay?
Super serial?
I'm being super serial. All right?
I just want to say that I'm glad that I came here tonight. Because as much as we had talked about this over Discord and with some of the players, I think it was having this conversation that really kind of hit home with me. I will try and go back and see if I can get lowered. I don't know. I can't promise or guarantee anything, but I think it was just the extra insight that you kind of let me know about the refinery kind of hinges on the liquid D. I'll see what I can do. Is the best. I wish I had a better answer for that. I
understand.
I still think the how quickly we were able to lower it to the new range was good. So I wouldn't go ahead and diminish that very much.
I agree.
I do understand where you're coming from. I understand where chat's coming from because I'm keeping an eye on everything in there. Let me see what I can do.
Now, guys, listen. Don't be teasing him about Echo. He's hanging out, by the way. But what's up, baby boy? No, listen. In all fairness, this was not. I told Hammy before he came on the show that we were going to have to talk about this because I felt convinced that there was still not a complete and full understanding of what my grievance is. So I did not expect Hammy to come here saying, okay, we're going to lower it to 2.5 minutes. That was never going to happen. But I begged him. I told him that we were going to have to talk this out because, and I fully expected there was not going to be an answer. So you guys lay off just a little bit on I'm going to get back to you because that's all I wanted out of this conversation was a better understanding of what was actually the problem here. Okay, and if Hammy can look me in the digital eye and tell me, okay, I hadn't considered that, and I see your point, and I will go make that case, that is all I'm after. All right,
and that's fantastic, and I really appreciate Hammy, you having this conversation with us because unlike DJ, I truly feel as though an olive branch was extended, which I as a player appreciate for all the money that I put into my NSA protector. But I just don't feel as though it was really understood the gravity and the weight of what this change truly did to the impact
serious.
On the game.
Serious.
And it was very, very, very serious, and it's a big deal. Which is why I'm the happiest, nicest guy I know, And for me to break a clock, I mean, that should tell you something right there.
I will point
That's,
out.
you know what? I'll tell you what, and this is just take a note, DJ. You made a very impassioned and logical argument, but all you needed to do was show Griffin in the clock. Like as soon as I saw that, like message received.
That was it. Okay, we're done. All right.
End the interview. We're done. Like, I got it.
Removed, everybody. Okay, timer's removed. Thank you. That's all we had to do. I will point out one more point, and I think it's a good point, Hammy, for you to add to your notepad. You got to consider Shiz, who is a brilliant analytical mind in the community, points out that right now we're only dealing with payers in that Omega space of the mirror universe.
Yeah, that's true.
In 30 more days, you're going to have the entire rest of the galaxy who are going to have their free-to-play protectors. There is going to be some crowding up there. There is going to be problems with timing on those respawns and that cooldown, and people will lose their hostiles. Now, I, for one, by the way, am not going to shy away. If someone steals my hostile, you're going to die. Okay, but that's just me.
Oh, yeah.
That's just me. Yeah. All right, we're going to go all the way back to what are those level 26? Those bosses. All right, I'm going to go all the way back there. Steven Zaren's going to remember you steal my level 26 boss, and I'm going to kill you. That being said, the entire game doesn't work that way, and I just want to point out that it's going to get much more crowded in Omega space, and this cooldown is not going to do anything to help the experience inside the mirror universe. Not the experience that you guys ended your arc on, which was a remarkably closed loop, self-sustaining, fully engaged, very rewarding. I mean, this I believe, all right, and I'm going to make a wild claim, but Bajoran to this day is one of the game's crowning achievements, and it was authored by the same designer. People love Bajoran. To this day, they talk about the parts, the materials. People love Bajoran, and I'm telling you, in 6 months, this will, if not be better, will be heralded as the exact same level of contribution to the game, and it came from the same author, and I don't think we can look over that. I don't think the community can overlook that. I think Mr. Tiger is brilliant, and he wrote something absolutely brilliant, and this cooldown actually nerfs the hell out of that design. I think that putting it back or lowering it actually makes this another Bajoran quality arc, another Bajoran quality feature, and it will live on as one of the best series of the best loop, the best series of arcs that has come into the game since Bajoran, and I'd like to close on that. Jonathan Ingram would like to point out that for every minute you reduce the cooldown, he will steal 100 trillion resources off of me. I think that's a fair trade. I would give up. Listen, I'll say it right now. Right now, I am on record. Hammy, you get the cooldown removed, Jonathan Ingram gets to 0 my base. You heard it here first. Zero the base, okay? There you go. Jonathan Ingram, now you are motivated to be very, very loud over there in the VIP chat. If they remove the cooldown, you get to 0 my base.
Stigma and everything.
I mean, I had a lot of motivation before, but you just pushed it over the top right there.
This is how serious I am about it, Hammy. I'm not even kidding. This is how much I value this. All right. All right. Do we have anything else on that? I know that was a long segment, and I again, Hammy knew this coming into it. Okay. I'm not blindsiding him. Is there anything that you would like to add on this topic? I know, and I acknowledge your point, the positivity about the change right up front. I just feel like it's not quite enough, but I appreciate the open minds and the quick action towards fixing it. Is there anything else that you would like to add to this particular topic before we popped off?
No, not really. Not beyond basically what I said earlier is that I am glad that I came here and we had this conversation. This was extremely productive and really kind of hammering home what the exact pain points were, despite everything, because I think despite all the conversations that you and I had with players, I needed to have something like this to really kind of open my eyes and see kind of what's going on. I will take this all back and I'm going to see what I can do. I wish I had a better answer. I wish I could just say, hey, this is a great, I agree with you guys. We need to get this done. But I'll have to have some conversations and see. So there's no guarantees, but you've given me a lot to work with to take back to the team.
Thank you very much.
You listening is all we can ask for. Thank you. Don't forget about the clock.
We'll send you that clock. If you need props, we'll send you that clock. All right, you get the clock.
Overnight the clock.
I'll take him.
All right, let's move on to something a little bit lighter, and actually something that I had to do a little bit of a 180 on Tuesday, Griffin. I came out. I was a little bit fussy about the arc, feeling very light on engagement. Okay, I said, well, hey, we're buying the artifacts, we're buying the fleet commander, we're buying the fleet commander slot, we're buying the forbidden tech. Like, what are we doing now? I don't remember who it was in chat. I listened back to this today as I was preparing, and I wish I'd jotted down the player's name. He was like, DJs, don't be an idiot. Like, we have asked for no loops like every single month. Okay, so that's fair. Some players like that individual, and again, I wish I could remember his name. Some players are praising the fact that there are no extra hostiles this month. And while it does seem a little relatively spend heavy, there are no extra grinds, okay? And I think that has to be acknowledged. So this is allowing players to catch up, play another content, do whatever it is that they want to do. Can I ask you, what was the game design intent behind this month's relaxed pace of play? I mean, we have also historically noticed that Arc 1s are usually a little bit slower as they ramp up in their story. Are players getting what they asked for this month? And if so, does that mean that we are dedicating extra time towards quality of life, bug fixes, things that aren't taking time and resources away from content development?
I think it's a lot of what you were talking about there. This, I love the Mirror Universe. A lot of people like the Mirror Universe, but it was still a lot of content to put in over the course of 3 months. I think honestly, the game kind of needed something like Symbiosis Part 1 to kind of reset and just let people kind of catch up with everything, especially free to play. Like, free to play has had kind of like a lot dumped on it, like everybody else. But they need this time to kind of catch up. I like this. This is kind of similar to, I think it was Gorn Part 1, where we didn't introduce anything, or we did. There was a loop and there was new hostiles, but it was a very easy kind of loop to do.
Yes,
this one doesn't even have a new loop. Like, I think there was there's a meme that says something like, "Oh, you don't like loops? Well, here's another loop." So we want to kind of break that up this time and actually give players a chance to breathe, to kind of take things in. You are kind of correct that there is kind of a lot of it is kind of pay gated this time around with some of the new stuff. I love Lorca. I think he's fantastic as far as fleet commanders go. But there will be some more kind of new stuff coming next month that I'm really excited about. I wish I could kind of go into more detail now, but I think we're going to kind of keep that kind of leaner approach, especially kind of coming off of, like I said, the Mirror Universe.
Okay. And I don't think that that's going to be unwelcome to players as long as there are free-to-play paths. I'm always a little bit forgiving on premium access. I always am. I do like day one paths of acquisition. All right, I'm no secret. That's no secret. I'm a big fan of that, but I'm okay with those paths of acquisition taking time or taking significant grind. I've always been in that camp. I do believe that spenders deserve their premium access and that you guys deserve compensation for developing content that players feel good about. But if you were talking to a complete free-to-play this month, what would you encourage them to focus in on during their gameplay? Because, as you mentioned, this month, literally everything new is pay-gated this month. So what should a free-to-play be excited about inside STFC this month?
Oh, great question. I mean, there isn't really a lot at this point for free to play. I thought we were actually pretty good about, and I shouldn't even tempt fate by going back to reference the Protector. One of the things that I did appreciate about the Protector is that we did give them a free to play path on day one. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we did kind of something similar for this month, which I'm going to try and circle back and see if I can get something going. But I think we've got more stuff coming in October that might kind of let the path go forward. Because my biggest kind of reactions or memories from over the summer was when we introduced the Gorn Eviscerator, and we had zero comms about the free-to-play path for like a month, and it just drove the free-to-play players nuts. That's why I like that we kind of learned when it came to the Protector, because on day one we let players know what the path would be like. So I don't really have a great answer for you right now for what free-to-play has. A lot of the content, like Nova Squadron and Lorca is packs only for the moment, but hopefully with October we'll be seeing more free-to-play stuff.
Now, I do want to point out, and as the chat is recognizing, Griffin, we lost. There you go. As we're talking about in the chat right now, there are some things that free to play can look forward to. I don't want to necessarily completely pull that out. For example, one more invasion, and most people are probably, at least if they were fully engaged, are unlocking their Protector. All right, so that will probably give them ample opportunity to get in and start exploring the mirror universe a little bit, and hopefully, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, enjoying hunting down some of those hostiles at an improved cooldown rate. So that leads me.
I can say real quick that we should have. I'm hearing that we're going to be having 2 invasions this month on week 2 and week 3.
That's exactly what I wanted to kind of lead into next, was the cadence of the invasion event. Is this still planned? Are you guys still making it a priority to kind of maintain this as far as a bi-weekly or a bi-monthly rather event? Galaxy Quest is over. The content is going to persist, but as we have kind of talked, the Galaxy is not in a worse place for that content. The Galaxy Invasion Refinery is good. The currency has been decent. And what people are earning out of that store seems to be roughly okay. So I'm curious, is this going to become a static piece of the calendar? Like, can we count on this becoming like a Mining Monday? I don't mean every week, but I mean, is it going to have a fixed cadence? 2nd and 4th Wednesdays or 1st and 3rd Fridays? Is Scopely open to and or willing to make this a fixed calendar event?
I don't know if I've actually heard if we are going to make it a specific cadence, because I know that twice a month is what I've been told. I thought it was actually kind of a good sign that we were able to get it a 3rd time in.
Agreed, yeah.
In August at the very end. That was kind of great to see that we can be kind of flexible with it. I would imagine that we'd probably run it on weeks 2 and 3. This is me just kind of spitballing, just because that's what the plan is for this month, but it might actually change from arc to arc. I would rather get it on a regular cadence, but that is something that I'll take a note of, because that is something that we should be communicating to players. But like I said,
I think it's a positive thing.
Future.
I think it's a win.
It is
right?
Twice a month.
I think for you to come out and say to players, "Hey, this is going to happen," because really, at the end of the day, I believe the feedback that I observed is that the majority of the community thoroughly enjoyed those events. They were not overly complicated. They were rewarding, and so I would, if I were Scopely, I would probably treat Invasion kind of like Jelly Brawl and Parabellum. Like, that just needs to be a staple every single month. Players need to know it's coming, because they will look forward to that. So I think that is something that Scopely should consider. Speaking of events that kind of pop in and out, I am going to pop in on Alliance tournaments in a moment, but I did hear you talking to Major Samo last night about Incursions. Now, me personally, I am not as much a fan of Incursions these days. I used to really like it. I've kind of crawled into Alex's camp. I feel like and you know what? If I had to guess, I'm going to be willing to bet Scopely feels like they might be a little bit stale at this point, which is why we continue to postpone these. Can you give me a little bit of insight into what is actually going on with Incursions and why we're not seeing those?
The reason that we've taken Incursions down for the past couple of months is because of the kind of horrific lag that was just kind of seeming to get worse and worse up until we decided to take them down. I have kind of tentatively good news, I guess, depending on what your perspective is. I'm actually a little bit more optimistic about Incursions running this month than I was yesterday. That's not a full-on endorsement, but I've been kind of just keeping an eye on some chats that there is a lot of kind of discussion about what we can do. We might be running them in a slightly different way if we do them to kind of help mitigate the lag, because that's what our priority is right now, is to make the experience at least a lot smoother for players, and that's what's kind of been the holdup. And like I mentioned on Samo's show last night, if we couldn't run incursions like we did in August, I still think we put out one heck of a comp chest for that, because just giving everybody the winning and I think the bye week chest, and then there's a whole bunch of officer shards on top of that. Again, it doesn't excuse the cancellation, because I know players did miss out on a whole bunch of RSS. But if we are going to cancel it, that's the type of comp chest that we have to keep doing if that's going to be the case.
I certainly understand that and even agree with it as far as the comp goes. I think that it might be time for Scopely to consider alternative sourcing methods for the rewards that were exclusively linked to incursions. I mean, if this is going to continue to be a problem and continue to be something that maybe does get backburnered or maybe doesn't show up as frequently as what they had maybe hoped, there are some rewards in there. 7 of 9 as a fleet commander is actually very, very valuable, and especially now that there's a little bit of new life into fleet commanders, which we're going to talk about here in a few moments. I think that it's really, really important for us to find alternative ways to source 7 of 9. And then, of course, as you have talked about, I know you're championing for Janeway, who doesn't have any sourcing at all. So would be really, really nice to see. And you know what? Can I just throw this out? And this could be something we could toss down on the notepad, but you guys have a solid event in Galaxy Invasions. That could absolutely be the source of some additional sourcing as just a store bundle. Add some choice. I mean, you've got the event store already, right? Throw 7 of 9 up there. Throw Admiral Janeway up there. Other things that you guys are struggling to source. The Ferengi Whip, that should go in there. You could use, and we're going to segue into Alliance Tournaments. Same thing. The Alliance Tournament store, which we are hoping to see on its 2 feet this month. That is a wonderful, wonderful way to source something if it comes with regularity. So I'd like to petition to ask for those things to come into those types of rewards and those types of redemption stores. You don't even have to increase the currency, but just allowing players the choice at redeeming that in an Alliance store type of event, I think, checks the box for you guys. So let's talk about Alliance tournaments. I heard you say last night you weren't sure they were coming back this month. I had different information. I saw that they were coming back this month. Do we have a confirmation on their appearance in week 3?
I'm hearing they're coming back this month.
Okay.
I don't. And honestly, this is the thing that's been driving me nuts. I've been trying to kind of nail down that timeline, exactly when it's going to happen. Of the things that we've been talking about, I'm most confident about Alliance tournament coming back this month. I am pushing for a date, but after the launch, kind of similar to Incursions, we want to make sure we get this right. I know that you were kind of asking also following up about maybe some of the changes we're making.
Yeah.
I don't have any updates about that. Outside of, we did a post with it, we're going to be altering the task distribution. There's going to be more in-game activity and engagement tasks, improvements to the leaderboards.
That'll really help.
So those were some of the big focuses that we were going to be working on as far as before we relaunch it again. I'm kind of pinging the team every day just to get as much information as we can, because I think that we need to get Alliance games up and running, because everybody, we were so excited for this, and the way that it launched and the reception it got from players was not what I was expecting, because I kind of see some of these things in advance, and this wasn't exactly the rollout that I was predicting at the time. So I really hope we can get this up and running. I would love to see kind of a little bit more variety in some of the tasks that you can do myself.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I hear anything, I'm going to be I'm getting that information out.
We haven't had a chance to talk to you publicly since Alliance tournaments, because the last time we had you on the show was before the mid-month patch last month. So Alliance tournaments, we haven't had a chance to talk about that again. I'm curious and this is slightly off script, but you and I have talked about the perception of tournaments was actually odd. You say that you didn't, you weren't overjoyed at the response that players had. I feel that it's actually kind of a bittersweet moment, right? Because literally almost every player I spoke to said it actually was great game design. If it had worked, it might have been one of their favorite features in a very long time. So this was not a feature that I feel like Scopely really just bombed on from start to finish. The implementation was terrible. There's no doubt. But it's not often that the player base comes out and says, okay, we really wanted this to work. Right? Like, usually they're just throwing you guys under the bus. Oh, it's trash. Trash keeper's running around here with a big old dumpster sack on his back. Like, usually players are just throwing off on it being a bad idea. Most people actually said this was a great idea. The content there, Nesbitt says, this would have been brilliant. All right? So I think a lot of people were very, very excited about what this could have been. And then it just got messed up. Not only tech, but there was some alterations to the versions we probably saw. Okay. Yep. That being said, I would hope that charges and kind of amps Scopely up a little bit, because it was a feature that the community actually really got excited about, genuinely got excited about. This has to be the number one priority for the events team right now. Are we in code red mode over there right now to get Alliance tournaments out? Is it at the top of the priority list?
Yeah, this is definitely a big one, and I agree 100% that I think a lot of the players, they saw the potential here for Alliance tournament.
Absolutely, that's but the feedback, they were all so passionate about how it didn't work because they wanted it to work so very badly and are excited to see it work. So yes, that's how you know you have a hit.
I mean, truthfully, if the players are saying, God, we want this to come back, it's got to be something you guys are rushing on. Do we have, I know you had mentioned just a second ago, and I don't want to spend too much more time. I know I'm getting ready to lose you. Do we have any updates from that team on any revisions to tasks? Do we have any leaks from that team at all about something that they are tinkering with, the idea? Is there anything that you would like to gauge the temperature of the community on as far as point values or specific tasks?
I would actually, you know what, I don't have anything. That was one of the things that I was kind of trying to get for tonight. I unfortunately do not, outside of what we put in the announcement a few weeks ago, which isn't really going into any of the specifics. But if chat actually wants to start mentioning some of the things they do want to see in tasks, I'm happy. I got my pen ready. I'm happy to take down some notes to take back to the team. I don't know how far in everything is baked at this point, but I'm happy to take any suggestions from chat right now.
I know a lot of people had talked about engagement-heavy events. Now, I know that there's going to be a mathematical formula on that, what equals $100, which is, by the way, why I think that the $100 tasks just need to be eliminated, okay?
I agree.
Need to be completely eliminated. Yeah. But I do think that there should be some heavy grind stuff. Kill 100 Borg or 100 Gorn. Kill, I mean, there were some Armada things in there, but, the acquire things is what really turned people off. Let people engage. Make them go mine, I don't know, what's realistic, 5 million Trillium A? I mean, as a task.
Yeah.
There are a lot of engagement-based events in this game that they seem to have completely ignored. There was nothing for away teams. There was nothing for performing solo armadas. There was nothing for killing Borg probes or Cardassian armadas, which I'm not encouraging you to do. I hate those events. I'm just saying, you guys have a lot of events in your wheelhouse, and we didn't do any of them. Nope. So I really feel, and now I do have a question for you, and I don't know if you'll have the answer. I see this in the chat, Otter, which is a great idea. I believe that I asked this question early on, and the tech was kind of weird about this. Is there a way within Alliance tournaments to organize the tech in which these tasks could, in fact, be team-based? Like Otter suggests, mining 100 million raw crystal or something as a team.
Yeah.
Does the tech exist for something like that?
I have no idea, but I would love to find that answer out.
I mean, there are alliance milestones, right? Alliance milestones exist, but I don't know how they function inside tasks.
I'm taking a note of that. Also, I'm seeing kind of a few different mentions on hostile kills. Like someone said that 50 instead of 100, but then someone else said 500 instead of 100. How are we feeling about the 100?
Here's my position on that.
Limit.
My position on it is that, I mean, me personally, I don't know that I'm going to kill 100 hostiles, okay? That being said, if you were going to keep it as a $100 equivalent, it can't be 100. 100 hostiles doesn't equal $100 worth of paid spend. So, which is ultimately why I say get rid of the $100 piece of it. It's okay to have spend mechanics in here, but they do also need to be grindable. That's kind of been one of the things that we've talked about forever, and there's these great YouTube videos about it, even from other gaming companies and other content creators about how spending should be a mechanism to replace the grind, not to prevent the grind, right? So if you were looking at, X amount of money to skip having to grind 100 hostiles, then I'm cool with something like that. $20, $30. I'm fine with something like that. I think what you guys need to do, Hammy, is figure out what these tasks are supposed to be worth to you guys in engagement. And then there has to be a baseline, right? You have events out there. Military supremacy is 500. Well, it's not 5. Is it 500 hostiles? I thought it was 250.
Yeah, 2 points each.
2 points to 1,000 points.
Yeah.
So that's a 48-hour event that has 500 hostiles in it. Some people will actually do that. So I'm not saying that 100 or 200 or 500 should equal any specific task. What I am more saying is that there should be engagement options. You got to take the $100 only spends. You got to get them out. That has to go.
I can share the feedback of my server and the players that I talk to, and I know that DJs is very adamant on that point. I don't necessarily disagree with it completely, but the problem can be solved in another way that would keep both parties happy. You don't need to eliminate that.
Ruh-roh. We lost him. You don't have to eliminate the spend option, and that's where we lost Griffin.
Opportunity, because
he's gone. He gone. Gone, everybody. He's still going. Look at the screen. He's still going.
I feel like
Hammy, did you mute
feel like
him?
I'm missing a lot of.
I feel like we are missing some really
missing some quality.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Griffin's got it. Oh, he's still going.
It's on a new server.
What is happening right now?
Quality.
All right. He finally realizes something weird's going on over there. All right. Yeah, maybe Griffin, drop your Discord audio and pop back because you were gone for like the last 60 seconds. We got none of that. I would like it.
No.
Yeah, we lost it all, buddy.
Am I back now?
What? No, you need to drop Discord and come back. You're on a crazy delay. Drop Discord and hop back. We'll see. We'll see what happens here in a second. There's something going on with his connection. We'll circle back to that here in just a moment and see about that's working. Now, listen, I want to dispel this real quick. All right, I see this in Discord. I see this this comment. People talk about the hostile limit. All right. Again, I remind people the hostile limit only has to do with loot and loot boxes. It has nothing to do with event scoring. This is something that does lovingly and respectfully crack me up every single time I hear it. If they're going to do these grind events, they got to remove the hostile limit. No, they don't. I mean, I wouldn't mind, okay, truthfully. But they don't have to because events score, okay? You are just not getting the loot. Okay, you're just not getting the loot. All right. So, yeah, here's the thing. I know a lot of people talk about the hostile limit. It does not prevent your ability to score. It just prevents your ability to gain whatever it is that the hostile is that you're going to hit. If you are running into that hostile limit, then you should probably, at least the way the environment is right now, time or plan the hostiles that you're going to hit for the loot and stuff that you want. And then when you're going to go just grind hostiles blindly till your fingers bleed, go do it on a hostile you don't care about as far as the loot rewards. All right? It's just the loot. Okay? It has nothing to do with anything else. So please, please be aware of that. All right? That's right. Dave Stroh says the limit is currently set at 2,000. Trash Keeper says disagree, and I get it. I understand. But you got to remember why that was put in place in the first place. Now, Hammy, this is not on our... Do you think that the hostile cap is actually a problem? Me, personally, I don't, but there are big grinders out there. There are. Trash Keeper, Xeron, there are Trey, big grinders out there that thinks that it should be removed.
Yeah.
Where does Scopely fall on that these days? Is that even something we've been talked about?
No, I don't know if we've ever talked about this. I have talked about this with players a lot. Myself speaking, it's not a problem for me. It's never been kind of a big deal in my game, but I've taken this back multiple times, and I haven't been able to get it to budge.
Yeah,
I just don't think it's like you said, that if it's still counting towards, kind of scoring, even if you're not getting the loot chest, then it's just not a topic that I've ever been able to push. And I think I've been raising it for years, maybe every 2-3 months, I bring it back up, and it gets kind of, just like, no, don't think we're going to be doing it this time. So I get where the players are coming from, but I don't see a change coming anytime soon.
I do see that some people, Crazy says, DJs, this interview was going so well and you just ruined it. They've agreed with everything I've said today until right now, and I'm like, okay, the hostile limit, I don't really care about that. I totally recognize it. I totally recognize that it's a thing, especially for you big grinders out there. I totally get it.
But if I can just point out, Mud 2 has actually just pointed out something that I do really want to try and get in game, which is a counter that shows the hostile kills. That I think we should really. I'm going to try and push for that again, because I think that's such a great idea. I would just love to see just how much I'm killing, and let me add that to my notes.
Guys, you can already do that. Just log into your player center profile, take the number of hostiles that you've killed, and then subtract the number of hostiles that you kill when you check it later. Duh.
Easy peasy.
All you need is a 7-figure calculator, some scratch pads, a napkin, and a charcoal pencil. Okay? And don't worry about the commas. I'm kidding. Obviously, that was satire. No, I mean, here's the thing. You guys are already counting it, right? Like, you're already counting it. And you're counting it for the cap. So it should be, I agree, Mud 2. I would actually advocate for that much harder than I would a change in the cap, is just for people to know where they are and for it to be communicated. This is something that Griffin mentioned, Alex has mentioned it, Bubba and Trader have mentioned it all throughout the years and the history, is that nowhere, not even in your own help files, nowhere in the game does it actually acknowledge that this mystery limit exists. It's not in the help files. It's not in the FAQ. It's not on the website. It literally does not exist. It's a myth for players who are not involved in content creation or Discord. It should probably exist in the game, And if you do that, at least it takes the surprise out of it.
Or the frustration if you pass it and don't realize it.
And you just stop getting stuff. I mean, still to this day, I get people that come into the Discord and be like, hey, I'm not getting loot from this. And we're like, have you hit your hostile limit? Wait, what? What limit? Yeah. So, all right, lose that. All right.
Hold on. Can you hear me now before we move on?
Yeah, Lions tournaments. Go ahead, bud.
I am very passionate about this because it's widely discussed over my server on what to do and how it could be better. So I did want to circle back to that because I disagree with DJs. I don't think that it's fair or reasonable to say, oh, just remove the $100 spend option, because that's not going to happen. It's never going to happen, and it shouldn't happen. There should be a reward for that spend. What everybody says when we talk about it in my server is the problem is not that you can spend to score. It's the value on the points that were placed on people's hard work for grinding and the disparity. So in conjunction sort of with what DJs was talking about, when we go back to the scoring mechanic and what is the value of the grind as it's compared to the dollar, it's not so much, okay, well, is it 500 hostels? Is it 1,000 hostels? Whatever you determine that free-to-play path is, whatever that number is, those points should count for a heck of a lot more than they did this first time around. And that will make people who are free to play feel much more involved and important in the process. Because if you're paying them 500 points or 400 points to do something, and then bam, here comes somebody and they get 10,000 points from one click of a button, that's very demoralizing. So whatever you determine the cost of that or the value of that grind is, please reward it with more points to come closer to the spend.
Let me ask this question, because Trey points this out in the chat. If there was going to be a 10,000 point task that cost $100, and there was going to be a unilateral grind option. All right, now remember, you only have 24 hours on these tasks, then they reset. Okay? If you were going to offer a unilateral grind option, what does the community think the number of hostiles to hit that is equal to $100 spent? I mean, is that 500 hostiles? I mean, who's going to do that? 500?
There are people who will. DJs, this is the whole thing. There are plenty of free-to-play people who want to contribute to their alliance and want to help get that score up. And they're not going to spend $100 to do it, but they will hit the 500 hostiles in order to get their name higher up on that leaderboard. It's that the variable in the equation should not be how many hostiles. The variable in the equation to make alliance tournaments better is how much we're rewarding that free-to-play spend of time. And that is something that costs Scopely no money.
The chat is surprising. Hammer, I'm with you. He says y'all are nuts. I'm not grinding 500 hostiles. Not me. I mean, but that's just me. I hate grinding, okay? There are people out there that say I would do it for my alliance. All right? I would do it for my alliance.
Option, Tarpatu says, and I couldn't agree more. And I'm not advocating for 500. DJs is saying that number, not Griffin. I'm not saying that 500 is the right number.
The chat was saying 500. Almost all of them said that. I mean,
I'm just saying make the free-to-play tasks not even equal, but it was like this. It was terrible. It was 10,000 to 100. It needs to be like 2 to 1 or a lot closer to the free-to-play people actually matter in this thing. And unfortunately, the scoring mechanic of this first round, I don't want to say they didn't matter, but man, if you had a lot of people spending in your server, I mean, you can look at it and see, I'm not doing this. What's the point? And we don't want anybody to feel like that. We want everybody to feel included. So
well, that would be and not only that, and if I'm going to put a bow on this piece of the conversation, we're also talking about tournament credits. All right, that gives them the capability of earning some of the store credits, so engagement should be rewarded with rewards to spend in the store. It's not just about, I mean, it is a lot about the alliance, but it's not just about that. The grinders deserve an option at earning that store loot as well. All right.
They do indeed. Thank you.
Okay. So there we go. That's alliance tournaments. Yeah, Hammy.
Not to take this whole conversation in a different direction, but with some of the let's call them oopsies that we've been kind of covering for the past little while. What's it going on? An hour and 15 minutes now. I would just like to say that sliders. The implementation.
He is the best one I know at this, Griffin. Like, seriously. Hey, let's spend an hour and 15 minutes talking about real important problems in the game. But hey.
But hey. No. Minimize.
I'm not.
Do not minimize my sliders.
I love it. All I'm saying is, but hey, look at this good thing we did. That's fair. I'm teasing you, Hammy. I'm teasing you.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
About you brought something forward which is amazing to the game, and you will advocate for that to get a spotlight like it deserves, because it is not all bad.
I agree.
Yes,
the sliders were phenomenal. As a matter of fact, I placed very, very well in that recruit event we had just after it, because I had so much stuff, because I'm a lazy clicker. So I don't want to click it on, so I just slid it, and it was amazing.
Oh, you are the laziest clicker I know, and that's going to be on a t-shirt. I'm overriding that order, and you will have a lazy clicker t-shirt for for Nashville. Yes, you will.
I am a lazy clicker, but I love the sliders. As a matter of fact, if you want, Hammy, I'm not going to make you be the bearer of all good news. All right, we obviously know that would just upset you greatly.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to point out
I'm good.
that the sliders were great. I'm very thrilled about that. We haven't talked to you since the change of the NSEA protector. Very, very good. That was also super well.
Huge shout out.
Super well done. What came today, which I'm gonna give it 1% negative because it should have happened 3 months ago, but just in time for free to play. You guys realize free to play are going to unlock their Eviscerator next week.
Yes, they are.
Next week, free to play are going to unlock their Gorn Eviscerator, and today, the Gorn Eviscerator's spatial rip ability is changed to what it should have been on day one, but nonetheless.
Wait, quick amendment. Today, it was announced that it will happen next week.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I was getting ready to say, don't you dare roll
no.
back. Okay.
No. That was on me. I got a little too excited about that announcement. I'm like, hey, everybody, guess what's happening today? And everyone's like, I can't do it. I'm like, oh no. So the good news. The good news is that it is coming next week. And this is like, I remember having this conversation way back in, what was it? Must have been May with you on this show about the biggest problem with the Eviscerator. Now, there is the one kind of limit that I was a little bit bummed by because I'm in Ops 50. There isn't the ability to get Ops 50s into G6 systems, but we're getting G3 into G4 and G4 into G5, which I think is what a lot of players are kind of super happy for. And I'm just stoked we could get this change, especially the timing is fantastic too.
So here's what I want to point out. Let's dissect this very quickly because some people are talking about with the skin. You do not need the skin. This is just making the ship work like it should have worked from the beginning. Okay, the ability is going to be useful now. It will allow players to bring ships that can then be recalled, and we're not talking just NX-01s and Voyagers now. All right, you can bring your warships. So we're talking, and by the way, we're talking about, I do kind of see the point Shinjo says, not quite, because G3 should be able to go to G5 because there aren't warp locks. I don't disagree fundamentally, Shinjo, but I'm still going to take the win because it allows players access to that next generation. G3 can get into all of G4 space, which is great. G4 can go all the way up into G5 with warships. This is progress. It is going to allow players to be more meaningful in their Armada contribution. It's probably going to allow VIPs and whales in your alliance to actually provide a smaller ship so that they can provide more loot share to the rest of you guys. They are not needing loot. I can promise you they don't need Armada loot. And the only reason that they're bringing those huge ships is just to guarantee the win because everybody else is sending Voyagers. Okay? They are going to, A, be able to fly cheaper ships. They are, B, going to be able to save on repairs. And C, they're going to be able to support their alliance with more loot share. And not only that, but D, you'll be able to start those armadas with an actual warship. You can actually use actual loot crews and things like that now with a large powered ship so you can get more of that loot share. I think that this is a fantastic change. The announcement came today. I do think it's late, but better late than never in this particular case. This is what the Gorn Eviscerator should have been doing from day one. And I, for one, while 2% of me is fussy it took this long, I am super thrilled that it is happening just in time for the free-to-play acquisition of this. You guys are going to unlock the ship literally within days of this patch going live, and that fundamentally changes the value of the Gorn Eviscerator for all you guys who are unlocking it for free. I got to be honest with you, it's funny. this is what the Gorn Eviscerator should have done for the paid players. But now the free players are going to get this amazing new benefit the day that they unlock it. So
there is no need for the backhanded thing.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
You know what, DJ?
Oh my God.
No, you've convinced me. We're taking this away.
No,
this is why you can't have nice things, DJ.
My God.
We were good to go, and I'm going back to the team. I'm like, no, shut it down. We tried. It just wasn't good enough.
I am going to be objective, honest, and fair. It took too long, but I am glad that it's here. Okay, I'm very, very happy, and I will praise the fact that it's here. It's very, very good.
But this isn't going to be kind of the happiest sentiment. But like one of the things I've learned. So I've been doing this job 2.5, getting close to 3 years. One of the things I've learned is that with some things, some of these changes take time. They aren't just something we can go back to the team, snap our fingers, and get that implemented in the game. This is one of the ones that took longer. I agree with you. I wish we could have gotten it in sooner, but the fact that we could does show that we can implement changes that the community is asking for. I wish they could be faster, but this time it took a little longer. But I'm really glad that we could do it.
Silvertab asked the question. And I think it's legit. And I'm going to think about this. I want to read this slowly and carefully. Does this only work if a G5 player opens a rift to G5 space for a G4 player? Or can a G4 open a rift to G5? I believe, Hammy, correct me if I'm wrong, but the warp range of the Eviscerator is stout. If a G4 is able to get to a G5 system and open a rift, he should still be able to pull players there. It's going to come down to the warp range of the actual Eviscerator, right?
I believe that's true, because if you've been to the system and seen it, then you can open the rift.
True.
No, you have to be able to get your ship in the system. The Eviscerator has to be there. It's not about seeing it. You got to get the Eviscerator there. And the Eviscerator has decent range, doesn't it, Jonathan Ingram? I thought it did.
It does. Yeah, it does.
It's got decent range. I mean, it's not better than the G6 ships, but the Eviscerator has good range. It's probably not as good as the NX-01. But Cabbage says you could disco in the Eviscerator. Yeah, but the Eviscerator...
Guy says you have to be able to reach the space. I presume that he means with the Eviscerator. I thought it was just if you could see it, if you've been to the space.
No, you got to be in there. So you need the Eviscerator warp range, I think. Okay, all right, fair enough. That's what I thought it was. All right, I've only got one or two more things. We are over our time. Thank you very, very much.
Wait. You remember we were going to do our world premiere, but we got all
serious, didn't we? Ladies and gentlemen,
we got all serious.
All right, hang on a second.
Well,
let me
this is still pretty serious, dude. You haven't seen what I'm about.
Fair, yeah, no, it's good. I'm going to give Hammy some music to go ahead and do what he's got to do here. Hang on.
But if I do unplug for a second, is everything going to come crashing down?
No, unplug away.
I mean, it should be fine, ladies and gentlemen.
Is he gonna do a dance rap?
Big reveal here. Hold on, I'm gonna go full ham. Okay.
This is
full ham.
This is so excited. I've got goosebumps.
Yeah, he's pretty excited about it. Hammy, go ahead.
This is almost on the scale of the lights behind me. Wow. Okay. So hold on. I need to just duck away real quick.
Wait, what? Did he just duck below the table? Oh, there he is. Okay. Headphoneless Hammy. What is he doing right now?
I think he's plugging back in the server.
I think he's also about ready to knock his laptop off the table. Oh, look at that! Wow!
Very nice.
All right, we don't hear you, Hammy. God bless it. We don't. He can clearly hear us. He's head bopping to music. You probably need to go into your Discord settings, you probably need to change the microphone in your Twitch. Go to your stream together. If you unplug the old mic and plug the new one in, you probably got to change the.
Oh yes, under that mic carrot, the drop down carrot.
Yeah, you can hear us clearly. It looks like. Oh, he's talking. Or there's a mute button on the mic. Yeah. You got to change the mic in the Twitch options. Here, I'm gonna walk you through it. At the bottom, you see a picture of a microphone. Click on the bottom, like the drop-down carrot.
Down carrot.
Click on the drop-down carrot, and click on.
Oh no, you need to go into settings. The gear.
Click on the gear right next to it. Then go to microphone and change your microphone to the new one. There you go. It's just like 90%. Hey, there he is! Ladies and gentlemen, he's back! All right, there we go, everybody.
Wow.
There's Hammy. Wow, you sound good. We need to adjust your gain just a little bit. We're gonna have to get your gain adjusted a little bit. But yeah, no, it actually sounds really, really good. Here, give me a 1-2. You want to sing a song for us? Give me a check 1-2.
1-2, 1-2, 1-2. This is Hammy coming in live.
Yeah, you're a little low. We're gonna have to get that volume turned up a little bit, but it does sound phenomenal. Sounds very, very good. Let me see if I can turn him up.
I'm happy to hear that.
I'll turn him up a little bit.
He's better now.
There you go. Nice job, dude. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Liking it. Good stuff there.
I'm a pro.
Yeah. Look at you, man, with the
Look at me
the
go.
new headphones and all that stuff.
I believe in the biz we call them cans.
Please don't tap the side of them again. That still sends shivers down my spine and anybody who's listening. All right. If anybody's listening in headphones, they just hear that thump sound in their eardrums there.
Oh.
Yeah. We did have a prime opportunity to do a mid-2000s Verizon commercial line. Can you hear me now? So, that looks good. Looks good. Congratulations.
Nice cans, Sammy.
Nice cans.
Thank you.
Nice cans. All right.
We're all professionals now.
That is true. We are very professional. Okay. Let's see. Do I have anything else?
No, but I got some stuff for you.
Oh. I actually do have one more. We skipped one.
Just a few more. I know that there's
he's dodging this one.
It's hard to top. My sweet new cans. But there are a couple other things I do want to say. Let's end on a positive note. We did update Ultra Recruits today. I know there's the mild criticism that we've got Dax is in there, Bashir, Kira, Hugh. It being in there is actually huge for me. I was happy to see that.
I actually just dumped all mine, actually. I did. Oh, wrong one. There we go. I just dumped all mine for that big event last week, so I had like 200,000. I didn't get to it. Taking a look at the new Ultra Recruit. There it is, folks, on your screen if you can see it. Hammy, itemize the new ads for us. We added a couple of new ones. Who are they?
We got Jadzia, Dax in there. We got Bashir.
That's
we got
big one.
Kira. We got Hugh, which is the one that I'm really happy. Galinar, Borg Queen, Dezok, and Gossa.
I just finished Dezok. Literally last between the arcs with the Borg store. I just finished Dezok.
Well,
did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's great. Hugh in here, Jadzia, Bashir. No sourcing exists for those guys. Well, a little bit for Hugh, but Jadzia and Bashir, those are huge, huge wins. Glad to see them here. Now, I am going...
one other wait.
Ah!
Also, we lowered the Fleet Commander chair swap to 30 minutes.
You did.
I saw that. Even in the pre-arc notes, you guys told us an hour. That's what I put in the video, and I was like, "Ooh, it's 30 minutes. Nice."
30 minutes.
Yeah, it's only 30 minutes instead of 1 hour. It was originally going to be an hour. So now,
and then
wait. Yeah. But wait.
One last. There's more. And this one, I don't know. This might be kind of a 50-50 improvement because I know some players see no value in him whatsoever because he is targeted for players 35 and under. But we had a lot of asks for Lieutenant Picard, and being able to source that for players who are over Ops 35 actually, I think, is a good thing because we have a lot of completionists out there. Plus, you also have the mess hall. I thought that was pretty cool that if you've made one purchase, you get
you gave him away like Oprah. You get a Picard. You get a Picard.
Yeah.
You get a Picard. ATAs, mess hall. Yeah, I mean, it does work. Kirok says, I just want to fill up my ship with all the Picards. All right.
I know. I've seen that. I've seen screenshots.
Yeah, all the Picards. We used to do that with Spocks. All right. Just running all the Spocks on a ship. There is one thing that I want to circle back to on the Ultra Recruits. I'm going to actually have a different perspective on this. Now, I have seen some people talking about the dilution. And mathematically, I totally agree. But I'm going to point out a couple of things that people may not know. First of all, Ops 1 through 29 has their own version of Ultra Recruits. Okay, so there are only, if I'm not mistaken, 30 or 35 officers in that G2 Ultra Recruit chest. All right, that means that the dilution isn't smashing them to bits. Now, for anybody 30 plus, that's where it's going to kick over. Okay, in 30 plus, that is when the Ultra Recruit kicks over, and there are indeed now. Well, golly, the other day there were 100. Let's count them now and see how many there are. We added how many? So let's see. We've got 5. There's 11 per row. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 99 and 9. That's 108. There are now 108 officers.
Oh, Nelly.
Okay. Yes, the dilution exists. Okay. But I also want to point out, this is not the same valued Ultra that it used to be. We are swimming in Ultras, guys. You are getting these with daily minis. You're getting them out of daily claims. I mean, there is absolutely no reason that somebody shouldn't be pulling 100,000 of these in a month's time. You still have full pull chance.
Does that apply to 39 and down, though? Because those are the ones who really need it. And I don't think that the Ops 30 plus, I'm about to find out as I start a new account again, but I don't think the Ops 20s and 30s players are swimming in it like we are, DJs, and that's the problem.
20s may not be, okay? 20s may not be, but starting in G3, these things come really, really quickly, okay? Burton says 100K is way more than I get at Ops 39. I would really like to see what that is. Shizman says 20 to 40 in a month. Okay, maybe not 100 then. I might be getting more because of various level of rewards and so forth. But I want to point out that the Ultras, while it is a great source for a bunch of officers, the dilution is there. This is probably the first thing I'm going to say all night that some people might accuse me of being shilly on. Listen, the Ultras aren't Ultras anymore, guys. The Ultras are essentially your premiums. Your Galactic Recruits, that's your new Ultra. Okay. Yeah. Stevens, Aaron, and I have talked about this at length. So is Everywhere It Matters. And this is the Ultra from 4 years ago. Okay. It is. This is the sourcing of what Ultras used to be. This is the new currency. The Galactic Recruit tokens, and Scopely is sourcing them very limited. But that's exactly how they used to do Ultras as well. The Ultras are essentially the premiums now. Okay. And you're right. You cannot full pull on Galactic, but there's also absolutely no dilution. Okay. The sourcing is going to get better on the Galactics. It already is better than it was 3 months ago. I do agree that there needs to be more officers in the transporter store. I do agree that there is insane dilution in the Ultra Recruit, but this Ultra Recruit should not be the mechanism at which you're using to unlock an officer. This is
unless you're in your 20s or 30s.
20s, fine, because that chest is different through Ops 29. All right? But starting at Ops 30, and this is why I warn some players. I say speed through the early levels, and you still can. But there is still a little bit of strategy. You don't want to go to Ops 30 and not have built a ship. You don't want to go to Ops 30 and not have done any research. You also want to make sure that you've got a few key officers unlocked. Now, I will say the field training has changed that. The simulator, whatever that critical hit simulator outside your base, that's changed that. Field training has changed a lot of stuff, and now Boldly Go is a massive change to the new player experience. And I should applaud you guys on that, Hammy. That's not something that applies to our audience here. Vic says field training's broken. Not the early field training. I mean, the new ones that they did, all right, but the original one's still there, all right? Pike and Moreau are in the original field training, and they just added 30 field trainings. And yes, they broke, but that's only because they launched 150 bundles for everybody in the galaxy to claim all at once. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Somebody should have been thinking that through.
Who could have predicted that's the problem?
Yeah, I mean, that should have been something that was rolled out server by server. But I digress. My point is the early player experience.
Hold on, Hammy has something positive to say.
Has a lot of ways to get those officers.
No, I'll let him finish. It sounded like it was good.
It is good.
The early player I jumped in too soon.
The early player experience
that's on me.
is a good thing. They've changed a lot. Boldly Go is a great new thing that doesn't apply to a lot of this audience, but as a G1 or G2 player, the Boldly Go series is probably the most player beneficial thing that you have done to a new player experience in this game, probably ever. It should be applauded. And, Griffin mentioned starting a new account. I don't know that I've got the time to do that, but I'm telling you guys, this is a totally different game than it was when we started. You could start a new account, and it is a different game. You would probably enjoy it. It's a different game than we played.
I see you all on official, and I see you all on Facebook. Anytime a new person pops up, they pop up the little head. Ooh, new player here. What do I do first? And all of you say, delete the game. Quit.
Not helpful. Not helpful.
That's not A, not helpful. B, not really funny. But C, most importantly, not accurate, because the new game experience that you see now, just watch a new streamer and watch how quickly they advance and what the strategy is like now. Yep. And it is incredible. Plus, the daily rewards for participation with this new mechanic is really going to accelerate people's performance in the early stages. So you all need to hold your tongues until you try it yourself.
Because
the new experience is totally different than 2020. Okay.
Now I'm gonna point out Divine is right. I couldn't play a new account because I'd be complaining about warp speed and impulse speed. I would just die. Okay. Jonathan Ingram says I'm going to create a new account so DJs can feed its progression.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I sting level ones when I see them with my mantis.
Yeah, right. The battle simulator. That's what that was called, Silvertime. I couldn't remember the battle simulator. So I think that there is some interesting things for the early experience, and I don't think that should be overlooked either. It doesn't apply to us, but it's a good thing for the game. It will actually help players retain or stay in this game, and that's ultimately what a lot of us want. We need fresh blood. We need new servers, new merges. We want fresh blood. We want new players and new people to hang out with, new members of our community. This is actually a way that Scopely can kind of assist in that regard. I think it's actually a good thing. All right, Hammy, you had something you wanted to add.
And to Don Zeno's credit, they don't have to pay $1,100 for a Mayflower these days.
You're a son of a bitch. All right. All right. Wilson does ask, when will there be server mergers again? Anything in the docket for that?
Yeah, I think we do have some coming up. We push them down the line. Let me see if I can get any announcements of that coming. Yeah, because we haven't stopped doing that. That's not something we're going to stop doing.
Sweet. All right. Let's let Hammy wrap up. I know that he's got he's got one or two things he wants to say, and I always invite our guests to speak to the community for a few moments, ask their questions, or have any of their closing monologue that they would like to share with the community. Hammy, as always, an absolutely wonderful conversation. I appreciate you taking your lashings with some grace. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
And obviously for hearing us out. It's been a frustrating couple of days, and I'm looking forward to the changes that we might be able to implement as a community and as a team, working together and cooperating and being professional and delightful together. Together. But that being said, do you have anything for us that you would like to close out with here tonight?
Just honestly that I'm really glad that I came by. I knew what I was coming in for. I knew that this was going to be a pretty intense conversation to start off the show, but ultimately I'm glad I was here and I was part of this conversation. This is something I needed to have. Let's just go back up to a positive thing real quick.
Yeah.
We did also update Galactic Recruit that has LD2 and the Enterprise NX Crew's officers are in there now. So that's kind of cool.
Came down for a couple of seconds. Actually, I think maybe an hour or two at event reset, and those were changed up. Those are on your screen right now, and something's weird with my aspect ratio. Apologize for that a little bit, but there it is. You guys can see at the bottom of your screen, or if you guys are listening in podcast, just go and hop in your Galactic Recruit. Hammy, are we expected to see? Is this a 2-month cycle now? It's showing 56 days on the clock. Are we going to keep this one for 56 days?
I don't know if it's going to be the 56 days. I remember that there was something with the timer that we had to have that there, even though it didn't really count. I know that we do update Galactic Recruit a lot more regularly than we do with any of the others. So I don't think it's 56 days exactly. I can find out, though, and get that answer.
In other words, your guys' clock is broken.
Just like Griffin.
As a matter of fact, I see this question in the chat. Hammy, nothing would make me open my wallet faster than a Griffin's green broken clock artifact.
OMG.
An artifact.
We need that. We need that.
Wait, you guys want this as an artifact in the game? You want an artifact of Griffin's green broken clock. What's it going to do? Increase the spawn rate of anti-hostiles?
I'm taking a note. That is perfect.
Because that makes it a prime. Daggone it, a dinner.
Correct. No. Oh, I knew a solution would present itself if I stayed here long enough.
There you
We've
go.
done it, people.
Buy the clock for $100 and you get your spawn timers back.
We brought it full circle.
Reduces cool time on NE Mirror Universe goblins by 5 seconds.
By 100%.
Yeah, by 100%. So we're going to drop from 9 minutes down to 7.5.
Correct.
All right.
Great suggestion.
Fantastic.
Clock, so it can be scanned into the game.
For those of you listening in podcast, that is legitimately an actual, like, this is such an old school looking clock. This is a clock like you would have in a classroom. Like, it's that big with the big numbers and the big
clock. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I can see what it was, and there it is, smashed.
Can I ask, did you actually smash that clock? You did.
Yeah, right out, because I was so mad that it took 27 minutes to get that NT.
Guys,
ISS to spawn.
there is a side of Griffin we did not know existed. Okay?
Yeah. That thing went flying. That went flying across the house. I didn't just smash it on my knee. That thing took a trip 100 feet down the.
Oh my!
This is.
God.
I'll be honest. This has been a roller coaster ride of an
really
appearance.
has.
There, we have covered
Goodness
so much ground.
gracious,
Griffin, I'm
man.
shocked.
This
I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah. Call me a shill now. smash my crap when things are not
my
right.
goodness, that's his secret.
That's
He's
my
always
secret.
angry.
I'm always angry. That's exactly right. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have had an absolute blast here tonight with our favorite rodent friend and guest and friend of the community. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to I'd like for you to put your whoa, yes.
One last thing.
Yeah, but wait.
I mentioned this last night, but you and I hope Griffin too will be seeing each other very soon.
That
Indeed
is
we
true.
will.
Everybody, Hammy is officially confirmed for Nashville.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that is going to happen. Very, very excited about that. We are super pumped to be hanging out with Obsidian Hamster in Nashville. We are still working out our plans to be able to do some crazy stuff with you guys. Rumor has it Hammy will be the one waxing my armpits.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's not mandatory.
No, nobody told me about this.
That's what you signed up for.
Hearing.
That's what you signed up for.
I don't. I signed a few things, but I don't remember reading the fine print. I have regrets.
Subparagraph 3, section 2B4. It's in the same section that talks about the cooldown on the NT hostiles.
There we go. Bring it all back around.
Yep, there we go, and that's where we're going to end it, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Obsidian Hamster will be live in Nashville in literally 1 week's time, right alongside myself, Griffin, and a whole host. Major Samo, Alex going to be there, Rev Deuce going to be there, and a whole host of others converging on the city of Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to be excited to see you guys there, and pretty pumped about some of the opportunities that we've got there. We're going to talk more about those as we come up. A live stream planned for inside the convention center. Yo, Beck, what are you doing?
Hi, Beck.
Beck Legs Plants is here.
Hi, Beck.
By the way, can I ask one more serious question? Have you guys talked about turning the blue particle accelerators blue?
Blue?
Just curious.
I've raised that. I'll try. I'll see what I can do.
No, seriously, what have they said? I really got to know their response when you said, hey, can we turn the blue accelerators that are actually green? Can we actually turn them blue? What does somebody look at you with a straight face and say?
Inquiring minds want to know.
I don't know. I got nothing.
They're like, wait, huh? Wait, what?
How about this? This is just to circle back around to my great new cans. How about, do these count for the blue particle accelerator?
Tapping.
Is this pretty...
God, stop!
Oh, sorry.
I couldn't even hear you. Just deafened me. I'm sorry. What?
Oh.
What did you say?
Does the blue lights? Do they count? Can we count those as the new particle accelerator?
Yeah, sure. Might as well. No, they're green.
I'll
Ladies
take
and
it.
gentlemen,
All
Obsidian Hamster, community manager, STFC. Thank you so very much for being here. Everybody say bye. Everybody say bye to Hammy. We're going to take a very quick break. We're going to take a
stopping by, chat.
Super fast break. When we return, we'll break down the interview. We'll talk a little bit more about this month's arc. Plus, we're going to take a look at Fleet Commander Lorca. It happens on the other side of this break. My name is Ultimate DJs. This is Talking Track Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. We'll return right after these words. Thank you guys for being here.
Hi, buddy.
This portion of the show brought to you by CrazyBunch.org. Are you old like Bubba Joe and get tired playing video games? Surtail has a solution for your health and wellness needs, especially while gaming. You could try an energy gummy for those long incursion events, or just to keep yourself conscious while you're doing all that mining. Surtail is an independent distributor of all aerial products you'll need to improve your gaming experience. Message Surtail on Discord or visit CrazyBunch.org for more information.
Yo, what's up, Commanders? Great news about PvPtarget.com. You've known for a while that it exists and has some great reference tools regarding PvP banding and common crew loadouts, but they've recently launched brand new tools on the site, including a brand new cargo calculator page as well. This isn't your typical max cargo style calculator, but a brand new, unique tool that identifies the timer until you go over cargo. The game timer might tell you how long to zero the node, but how long until your miner is at risk? You can find out now by using the brand spanking new cargo calculator at PvPtarget.com. Today's show brought to you in part by the Musgrove Trial Firm in Georgia. Have you suffered personal injury in Georgia? You need a buddy. Give Buddy at the Musgrove Trial Firm a call, 678-226-1994. Visit them online at musgrovetrialfirm.com.
Yeah. In my world, and although most men are hoes, he flows on the down low, cause I never heard about him with another girl. But I don't sweat it, because it's just pathetic to let it get me involved in that he said, she said crowd. I know that ain't nobody perfect, I give props to those who deserve it, and believe me, y'all, he's worth it. So here's to the future, cause we got through the past. I finally found somebody that could make me laugh.
Good evening,
So
everybody.
crazy.
Welcome. Appreciate you guys. What's going on? My name
great guy. What a man. What a man, what a man, what a man that guy is. Ladies and gentlemen, Obsidian Hamster. Hanging out on our stage. Appreciate you guys so very much for being here. And to my partner in crime, and obviously a very dark and angry soul, ladies and gentlemen, Green Griffin is here.
Oh, you don't know a thing about me out
there. Woo! Divine says, must be time for a Twitch ad soon. We just took it. You guys have another 56 minutes commercial free. And you guys have started another hype train. Look at you, already into a level 2. I will remind you, we are 4,476 bits away from a battle pass tonight. As a matter of fact, we are at the beginning of the arc. I will double down. Okay, if we get to the 10,000 bits, and we've got a hype train going on right now, I will double down. We get to 10,000 bits, I will give away not 1, but 2 battle passes, and we are at 60 out of the 125 subs. If we get to the daily sub goal of 125, which is only 65 subs away, not only will I give away a $100 pack, but I will give away 5 additional battle passes. That is a doubling of the value. What? That's going to happen. Yeah, so if we get to 65 more subs, we will give away a $100 pack plus 5 more battle passes. We get to 10,000 bits, we'll give away an additional 2 battle passes. And that is what we're doing right now. Thank you guys very much for continuing the hype train. Vic says, that's just craziness, I know. Engineer, thank you for the, 1,000 kitty bitties. Woo! Thank you. Striker dropping 200 kitty bitties in there. And 5 gifted. Look at you, baby boy! Thank you. K.A. Knowledge dropping a gifted sub. Iron Chef, Tarpy, 4 of Raj. Thank you guys for your kitty bitties. Kavik, bruh. That's from Pika. I know that one. Bruh. Thank you for the resub there. Sith Lord, Jonathan Ingram. Wants to know if Beck is still Beck or if her new name is Naja Delvos. She does look just like that. It's got to be. It had to have been. Holy snake eyes! Woo! Snake Eyes just dropped a 50 bomb in chat. Goodness gracious. Don't do it. Don't do it, Griffin. You guys just need. I'm thinking about it. Don't do it. Not tonight. We only need 8 more subs to hit the goal. 8 more subs to hit the goal, and it's good. Lester says, DJ, I love you, but I feel like you let Hammy off easy with the Enterprise Ease.
Ooh,
wow,
no,
really?
Not. I was uncomfortable. My butt was puckering.
I was gonna say, holy cow! I felt like I crossed a line. To be perfectly honest with you,
were fighting, and I didn't like it.
I felt like I was probably as, I don't want to say aggressive, but I was as stern as I probably could have been.
Oh, you were giving star bases for a minute. You were.
I feel like I think, you know what, if I am comparing how I handled star bases with Echo, I think tonight was far more professional. Because I've said this a million times, and it's always terrible. It was very terrible of me to assume this. Echo and I are great friends. I talk to him frequently. I think the world of that guy. I always enjoy seeing him when I travel out to LA. I will see him outside the office. I've eaten meals with him and his fiance. I have been in their home. I have cooked food for them. I have played video games with them. I've eaten in their backyard. I've met their dogs. I love
on their bathroom floor, probably.
We don't talk about that. I like the guy. I think he's a wonderful person, and I really enjoy him as a friend. I think and I've said this before, I think what that did was allow me to feel very comfortable and not as professional. I mean, I could feel like I was just BSing with my buddy at the bar, and if we had a disagreement, we're going to yell about it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was actually always a professional failure of mine, that I treated Echo more like a friend than I did a colleague. And that was never, ever fair to him. It was never fair to him. Thank you, Halo.
We
I appreciate
it. And those assaults were definitely unnerving.
They were, and I lost my bananas that night at him.
But this time, completely different story. We had a grievance. We had a thing to
exactly.
We had to hit something.
So that's it, Hammy. I just can't be your friend. Okay.
No, that's not where that story was going.
No,
EJ.
Obviously not. I obviously learned a very important lesson. Guys, I have never professionally been more embarrassed, and I've said this more than once on the air. I've never professionally been more embarrassed than I was after that interview with Echo about assaults. That was no way to conduct myself. I apologized to him privately, publicly, and everybody involved after that. That was a terrible way for me to conduct myself. I know that some people probably like that, and some people, enjoy seeing that kind of pressure. That was never my intent. It never should have happened. I make no excuses. I think of that often. So tonight, when I come in and I have a very serious grievance, I think it was very, very important for us to do it exactly like we did. And the reason that I immediately and automatically feel better about this conversation is because we won a heart and mind today. I genuinely feel that having that conversation, having that dialogue actually made a perspective clear that might not have been otherwise clear through text message or DM or email. All right. So
and plus we had the clock.
And we do have the clock, yeah. So, Griffin broke a clock over the issue. Game Junior says, your only regret should be that assaults still suck. Maybe, sure, which is true, okay?
What's an assault? I still have never done one.
Yeah, but I do think that the issue was presented in a way, and I do feel like I pushed him pretty hard on that, but I think it was done in a respectful manner, and so I'm sorry if some people feel I let him off easy. I felt like I was really towing that line, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, Putz, on the other hand, Putz is going to give me a little bit of grief. Says, DJs, I think you did drop the ball in one area, not on Alliance tournaments, on the, sorry, for some reason the chat's up twice. Sorry about that, guys. The clarification on new artifacts not being free to play, I brushed it off. I did not press on asking for sourcing, something that free to play was looking forward to, and now we don't even know when we'll be able to get them at all. That needed to be asked immediately after the news of them being only paid. So, Putz, here's what I can tell you about that. That was not their mistake. That one was mine. Okay? I thought that I was 1,000% right, okay? And I went back to my notes. I wrote it down that way. I went back to my media bundle, and therein found my evidence. They did tell me that it was going to be exactly like it did. I misunderstood them because they told me it was going to go in the temporal upgrade, in the temporal artifact, the temporal refinery for upgrade, okay? Now, if you want to say it is their mistake for not putting it there, totally agree. Okay? Totally agree. But I relayed that information incorrectly. But again, it reiterates why I'm so disappointed with this arc to begin with, guys. Everything is paid. There's nothing engagement-based, and the free-to-play have nothing to even think about doing this month. Okay? Right. So this is why I said Tuesday that I'm disappointed. This is why I just don't like this arc so far. I mean, what they've done so far, the only thing that I feel like they have done that is praiseworthy is this thing with the Eviscerator, and that happened today. You know, I am not happy with this arc. And this conversation doesn't change that. Hammy knows how I feel about this arc, and I think we had a good dialogue, but they need to come up with some serious action on this arc if they're going to save it for me. All right? And I can only imagine for a free-to-play. I mean, listen, I'm going to buy Lorca. Okay? I'm going to buy Lorca. I might even do it on stream. We might talk about it. We can talk about him. All right? I think he's a phenomenal fleet commander. His buffs are stupidly good.
They're game-changing.
But again, it's a paid piece of content. So what does Putz have this month? You know? And so I think Scopely has a big hole to dig out of. I don't think I made that position. I don't think I swayed from that position tonight, and I certainly didn't intend to if I did. And I think Hammy knows that. I think Scopely knows that. The event runner knows that. I have had conversations. I know that they know that I'm disappointed with this arc, and they've got a big hole to dig out of if they're going to get my approval out of it. And then again, they may not care. What I will tell you, Putz, is that while I do not know the specific path, all right, I do not know the specific path, but I do know that the artifacts will have a grinder's path introduced next month. I do not know what that path is, but there will be. Oh, wait, am I getting that wrong? Wait. I might be speaking incorrectly. I might be thinking about the skill points. I might be thinking about Lorca skill points. Let me walk that back. I'm looking at my notes right now. Sorry, hang on. I might be saying that wrong. So let me circle. Let me circle back to you guys on that. All right,
boy.
I'm sorry. I honestly don't remember. I think I got that confused. I am 99% sure that Lorca skill points will introduce a grinder's path next month, and I probably shouldn't have said that, but I just messed up because we were talking about the artifacts. I'm pretty sure it's Lorca skill points. There will be a grinder's path. I don't think it's going to be easy, so I mean, don't freak out. Okay? Plus says I got him to pull an echo. Daggone it! I didn't mean to. Shoot. That being said, I don't disagree with you, Putz. The reason that I didn't push on that is because we've already had the conversation. And I know what the answer is, and I know you're not going to like it, and I don't like it, and it is what it is. You know, they're just selling stuff this month. And I have to ask, am I being a hypocrite?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I honestly, Griffin, I think I am. Because we've asked for no new loops. We've asked for no new content, no new grinds. I feel like I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite. And so I'm being very, very careful, Putz, if I'm criticizing the fact that they're selling everything, I have to put that hand in hand with the fact that they didn't give us a grind. So naturally, they still have their budgets. They still have their quotas. They still got to make their money. Yeah, it's going to feel like they're selling more in relativity because there's nothing for us to grind. But is that a bad thing this month? Okay? If, Shiz, you got it. If they're going to work on quality of life things. And you know what? The Eviscerator, that's good. Listen, if they come out every 3 to 4 days with an announcement like that, this arc will probably get pretty high marks from me, Griffin. No new loop. Yeah, they had to sell stuff, but I mean, they're not selling any more than they normally do. They just didn't give us a grind.
I think it's a fantastic opportunity for us to digest the Thanksgiving Day meal sized month that we got last month, to catch up on our grinds, to really find a new pace. And remember, the Mirror Universe did not just introduce new grinds, it also took away some older grinds for us if we participate in that mechanic. So relearning how to play the game and how to spend your time wisely is something that can certainly happen in the remaining month of September. And there are still things to engage in, dependent upon whether or not you want to invest your time and money. There's the new building, there's the new fleet commander, there's all of these other things that are going on in addition to reallocating how you spend your time in the game. So for you to throw that tizzy fit that you did on Tuesday morning, I just chalked that up to you being really tired, because really you were making your own point.
Okay, and that's fair. Okay, that may be fair. I acknowledge that. That's why I'm saying I think I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite when I've had time to think about it, because they have to sell, guys. They have to. All right, this is a big company. They got a lot of mouths to feed, a lot of families to support. All right, they got to sell. But they did, in fact, give us a break from the new content, which you guys asked for. Now, they have to follow it up. They have to follow it up with quality of life. And by the way, you know, the Eviscerator, sure, I'm good with that. But Sir Tail, the Enterprise E-Hostels, not. Right? That doesn't count. Now, if they come back and they were like, you know what? All right, Ultimate DJs, you were right. Griffin, sorry about your clock. We're going to roll it back. We're going to roll it back. I would personally give them a pass on that debacle from the beginning. They put it back. They thought it was a good idea. We proved that it wasn't, and they were like, okay. I see your point, DJs. We're going to put it back. They do that, I'm fine. I'm happy. Then they did the Eviscerator. Listen, they did the sliders. The Galactic Recruits. Listen, if they come out and they add 5 or 6 officers to the transporter store this month, which, by the way, I expect, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if they actually deliver on some quality of life improvements this month, then we can't claim that this isn't what we want. Because every single month we say, don't do content for a month and just focus on fixing stuff. This could be it. But they better deliver.
Exactly what we want. And they already are. We're off to a really good start.
What? No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No, we are not.
I am not wasting my life away on a new loop. I am seeing incremental
That's not a good start.
Life.
That is not a good start. A good start would have been not doing the loot hostel thing. All right.
Well,
the sliders, good start. Eviscerator, good start. But no, this whole mirror universe thing has got me super sour. All right. And honestly, yeah, the mirror universe thing, and I'm looking at the chat, mirror universe has me super, super sour. All right. But I'm not going to break it. I'm not going to ignore the fact that we got sliders. I'm not going to ignore the fact that we don't have a grind. Those things are good, but I'm certainly not going to sit here and say that they're off to a good start.
Well, okay, and that's fair. However, point being, I don't think it's fair to criticize for the fact of not having a new loop. And in fact, I think that I see an investment in going back and looking at and revisiting it older content and making things better for the newer players that are accessing it, like this Eviscerator. That has to be praised. Those are good things to happen to this game because it makes features that already exist better. And who doesn't want to see a feature that already exists be better? That is exactly what we ask for month after month.
I don't necessarily disagree, but I mean, we're only 3 days in. They got a long way to go to make this a quality of life arc. All right. Now, Jonathan Ingram points out no new currency for Lorca like they did with Sloan. That's big. I'll also point out Sloan does not require rare skill points. I think that is kind of nice. So listen, there are some elements of positivity here. Okay, but we're on day 3. There's a lot that they got to do to dig out to make this a quality of life arc. I mean, I'm looking at 2 hands worth of improvements. All right, I want this many improvements. All right, we've gotten this many so far. I want this many. If we're going to take an entire month off from content, which is what players do ask, then it better be hot and heavy with the quality of life and the bug fixes. And let's not spend time on fixing stuff that don't need to be fixed.
Oh, like, we won't talk about Vemit. We won't talk about just the poorly timed immediate patches, which did not need to, I mean, man, they just can't get out of their own way sometimes, but there are a lot of positive changes happening right now. And I do expect there to be more because the feedback is overwhelmingly positive when people see them and they're very inexpensive to do. They have already partially freed Gala, DJs. We already got the negotiation in the right direction, and Hammy did take the note, and we'll see what they come back with in the future. I am optimistic.
Can I raise a hypothetical and different perspective, DJs?
Please.
I don't know if you saw in the chat earlier when you were talking to Hammy. Probably not. You were busy focusing on him. But just regarding the ISS respawn timers, hypothetically speaking, let's say about a month ago or 2 months ago, you were enjoying the mirror universe. You thought it was really good. You liked the look of the Trillium D store. You knew that it's practically impossible to ever pull everything. So you decided to invest in the Prime that they had available, doubling your liquid D. How would you feel the next month when this new ship comes out, which again looks really good? It's got its own refinery. You go ahead and buy it, and you find these cool hostels, and look how much D they're giving you, and you realize that, you know what? In 10 minutes, I can farm enough liquid D that there's no need for the Prime that they just released.
You know, I'm sympathetic to you, Matters, because I could ask you the same thing about the G4 Parts Prime that came out a month before the multi-tier primes.
Oh, you were so mad.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I can ask you the same question.
I understand, and I was totally fine with it. I was on board. I said it's great, it's fantastic, it's wonderful that this is here. I didn't say that it's a load of crap or anything. Yes, they should have communicated with us once they realized that this was unintended. I agree with that. Yes, they went about it in a bad way, just fixing it without any sort of warning and fixing it so drastically. I agree that once every 30-ish minutes isn't good enough. It should be better than that. But now players are up in arms, demanding to be able to max pull everything in the Liquid D store with ease if they have the protector, completely nullifying the prime that's available and is still available. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say, you know what, you're going to have to single pull one or two of these things a day unless you buy the prime as well. Like, personally, I think they've already come back a fair amount. I think that's great what they have done. I mean, it kind of a weird range. 2 to 9 minutes is odd, but they're 2.5 to 9 or whatever it was,
which is averaging 7 minutes in real time testing.
Well, and let's not, I didn't bring up this point earlier because there's 0% chance we'll ever get this data. But do you think it's actually 2.5 to 9 with equal variation? God, this game is built on RNG.
Alaska just said she did a run and she got 8.
This game is built on RNG.
So there's a 5% chance that it'll spawn in 2.5 minutes, and an 85% chance it'll spawn in 8. I see what you're saying.
She hopped around a few different systems, but she got 8 in one run.
There you go. System hopping is the new way to play, but wait until all the free to plays, which I'm
we always did it with scouts.
Well, yeah, but I mean, system hopping now, you got to be a little bit careful with that because you're going to end up burning more keys than you're earning in premium keys there. If you're bouncing back and forth too much.
Not in the new Happy Space up north. The new, what is it called?
Yeah,
the Happy Town
place to begin with, and the efficiency research is still working on it. So
go up to Happy Town, you'll bounce around and spend nothing. But that's the valid point, Matters. I think maybe what I'm hearing you're saying is that we might be a little too greedy in what we're asking for. And is it killing the loop in the last month's loop by giving everything away? I bet you that's probably the point that caused the change in the first place. Not speaking on behalf of Scopely, but I can imagine that would be their point of view. And I still side with DJs and what I thought from the beginning. You can't give it to us for a month and then just take it away without saying anything.
That much I agree with. I definitely would not argue against that. It's just like surprising the patch notes.
we give people a hard time for the bait and switch argument when 9 times out of 10 people are referencing something that's not a bait and switch.
True.
But this time
when it's an actual bait and switch, we got to back it up. All right. I mean,
exactly.
We got to hold it up. And I feel like that it is. But, there's a lot of things we don't know. With the respawn timer, are there non-equal odds and skewed towards the 9 minutes? Because I'd be willing to bet there is. I mean,
scandal.
I'm not saying scandal. I'm just saying I'd be willing to bet that there is not unilateral equal odds there. And we'll never find that answer. I'm not even going to bother asking. But we'll never get that because there are so many RNG things based in this game, and we know that a lot of them are stacked. So even the ones that we don't see, why wouldn't they be stacked? So I'm just saying I appreciate the conversation we had today, but I am not satisfied with what they've done. I'm not.
I am thankful that they listened, and I'm thankful that they made a change. I do appreciate it, but at the same time, it's okay to not be satisfied with the outcome. I would agree with that. I would tend to agree. I was thinking they'd come back with a 5 minute or less, and they didn't. So, but I haven't played a lot of it myself. I haven't been in today to check my own. Did that player have just Bubba Joe luck? on that 7-minute average. I'll give it a chance. I'll see what it does. I'm not going to say no to that.
28 minutes. Crazy spent 28 minutes in there and got 5. So what does that average out? That averages out to roughly 6 minutes. 5.5, 6 minutes. So you're right there in the middle. I mean, 5 minutes, 45 seconds should be the exact middle there. So it looks like you're relatively close. But Brett points out in the chat, problem is that the root problem with the Mirror Universe is that it's actually a little bit too grind heavy. We're not mad at the loss of the Enterprise E, per se. We're upset that it's still a massive screen time suck, and we breathed a sigh of relief when there was a paid option to relieve that grind, and then realized it was too soon. You know what? That's actually a very fair point, Brett. I preach it all the time. Let me pay to skip the grind, and then I paid, and then the grind comes back.
Oh, there is a paid option to alleviate the grind, though. It's the Prime that already existed.
That
before
Prime,
the NSEA came out.
That Prime pales in comparison to what the NSEA should be paying.
By a lot.
Well, it pales in comparison to what the NSEA ended up paying, and that Prime still does pale in comparison to what it's paying, not in Trellium, in Liquid D specifically. The NSEA is still a better return for all the things it can do for you than that Prime. But if you want to skip the Liquid D grind, you get the NSEA, you get the mining Prime, and you get the Liquid D refinery Prime, and then you're like me and you're going into the Mirror Universe once every 3 days because that's all you need to do to max pull everything. There's still paid options to skip the grind. I mean, the NSEA seemed like it was a paid way to skip that grind, in addition to all the other stuff that it did, which ended up being accidental, which they should have told us about, and they didn't, and that's on them. And I'm not happy about that either. They should have told us as soon as they realized, and they should have told us that they were going to fix it and let us go ham and fill up as much as we can before they ended up actually fixing it, instead of surprising the fix on us without saying anything ahead of time. But the Prime Liquid D refinery research is the paid way to skip the grind, in addition to what you get from the bit that you get from the NSEA and the ISS Enterprises, which give you some, but not nearly as much as they were last month. It still completely skips the grind. They could put it back to the timer that they said before. If you got one ISS Enterprise every time you went into the Mirror Universe and have the Prime, then you're fine. You're max pulling everything.
So how many $100 packs should we be expected to buy before the loop is self-sustaining? I find a hard time in that argument matters. I mean,
well, no. I mean, the loop is also self-sustaining when you max. I assume when you max out the NSEA, and
the refinery is not based on tier. The refinery has nothing to do with tier.
On ops. Yeah, no, I know.
Okay.
The refinery is based on ops, but you do get a liquid Trellium D. I don't know how much exactly that goes up based on tier in the Omega store. You get that daily claim for free.
Dude, it's literally just a couple hundred. Hold on. We've got the Bible. We've got the Jules Verne Bible here. Hang on. Yeah, like I'm at tier 4 and I'm getting 460, I believe. Hang on a second.
Okay. But I mean, what is it when it's max?
Hang on, we're gonna pull it up. Mirror Universe.
That's a lot when it's max.
All right, hang on. Refinery, Omega. Let's see if we can find it. Liquid Omega. No, it's not a lot. I mean, maybe, I guess. Tier 4, it's 460. Tier 6, which is the G4 lock, it's only 580. At the G5 lock, it's only 1,000. Dude, I mean, we're talking a delta of a couple of hundred. That doesn't make up for the 3,100 shortfall that we got.
But the 3100 is based on G6 costs. Those the refineries in the Liquid D store go up in both what you get and cost based on your ops. So if we're using the numbers of your refinery, we should. Yes, they do. It says it. If you click on the little
they're based on the level of your
go up,
the level of your refinery, which is controlled by you.
No. The first two I'm talking about in the Liquid D store, those bundles go up in cost and payout based on your ops level, not your refinery.
All right. At Ops 40, the cost is 200 Liquid D, and at Ops 70, the cost is 400 Liquid D. There is not a delta there.
So it doubles. 200 to 400? So it doubles.
Still not seeing where we're coming up with 3,100 shortfall in a day. Because that's the math.
Maybe it doesn't get to the point where you can max pull everything, even when the NSEA is maxed and everything's maxed without the prime. And in the past, that's been fine. Although down the road things change and more sourcing gets added in, and people eventually get to that point. It's.
Thank you, Lost In, for the resub. I also miss the loot goblins. I
don't think that acquisition of the NSEA, which is going to happen in another month for free to play, should completely close the mirror loop.
Oh, I could
so
not.
So that it barely requires.
Nah, I'm on the way that they, and I respectfully disagree, because the way new content is added in this game at a blistering rate, I was elated to feel like I was closing the mirror universe loop and ready for the next thing. And it doesn't change the fact that I got something and then I don't have it anymore. And that's just really what this whole thing is about.
Well, not only that, you're closing the loop, but you're not finishing the loop, because we are nowhere near finishing the rewards that source out of this thing. I mean, we're talking about sourcing of still a handful of officer shards a day. People are going to be engaged in the mirror universe loop for many, many months, if not multiple years, to finish maxing everything out in that store. We complain about the stuff that things have a projected completion time of multiple years, and here they actually came out and said, okay, no, this one's only going to take a year, or this one's only going to take 18 months, and it should be praised, the fact that they took the end game and calculated it in a reasonable period of time for what players were going to actually engage in this thing. Not 11 years, but a year and a half. Okay.
Which is not an exaggeration. That's exactly what the Galaxy expansion was going to do at first. It was 11 years. It's like, what? I might be dead by then. And, finally we have an actual light at the end of the tunnel is the whole thing. I liked having the light at the end of the tunnel, and then I feel like the light got turned off on Tuesday night. And now we're working together again to try to find where that light is. Where I can feel the light switch. I'm just figuring out how to turn it back on. That's where we're at.
Yo, what's up, Tim? Thanks for the raid!
I don't disagree with that, but I don't think with the fact that they're adding efficiencies and stuff to completely shut off the need to engage in old loops, that they need to have something available within 2 months of a player starting a loop to make it so that they barely have to engage with it. I mean,
we're not talking
like
barely having. No, we're not talking barely having to engage. Not at all. We're not talking barely having to engage. You still got to fully engage. You got to get the A, you got to get the D, you got to get the Omega, and then you got to get the NT hostiles. You are still engaged. Okay? But what it has done is reduce screen time and concentrated your engagement in the mirror universe instead of 4 or 5 other sections of space. They have effectively reduced and redacted the screen time and consolidated it down into saying, listen, you play in the mirror universe and we've got X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, P, D, Q loops ready to close out for you. This was a consolidation of screen time and it still is, by the way, but what they have done is extended the amount of time we're going to have to grind on that to basically get less rewards over the same period of time. They've effectively halved the efficiency or the reward value. It's literally 50% less rewarding than it was last week by what they've cut out with what you can capably pull in Liquid Trillium D. So that's the complaint. And mathematically matters, it's there. I respect your opinion. I totally do. Should I be able to do max pulls of everything in the refinery? Me personally, I think yes. But not because I want it all and I want it now, but because I engaged and paid to skip that grind and fully engage in the content to speed up my rewards and progression through that loop. That's why. And by the way, that's what they sold. It's not like I feel like I just deserved it. It's legitimately what they sold. And I bought as a consumer.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay? And that's what I expect my product to do.
They should have communicated the day after we first discussed anybody first discussed the ISS Enterprise and what you can do with it with the NSCA. They should have said the day after, this isn't right, and we're going to need to look into it. So please don't, blah, blah, blah. Don't bank on this being a forever thing.
Right.
And that's all they needed to do. That's all they needed to do. And we wouldn't have been happy about it, but.
But you're right. They wouldn't have sold something.
That's it.
Under false pretense.
They wouldn't have sold as much.
Oh, okay. And I would not have taken my protector to tier 13. No, there's no way.
I thought you did that like day one.
No, I did not.
It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't on day one, but it was all right.
Yeah, it was close.
I thought it was before we even found the Enterprises.
All right, questions out of the chat. Anything that you guys have, we'll get ready to wrap up. We've got a good podcast under our belt, a great guest today. I think the conversation was good. I am surprised that people think that I wasn't hard enough on him, Griffin. I feel like I want to call him when I get off the air just to check on him.
I share in your sentiment, in your opinion. I thought that it was firm, but also fair.
I think so too. Nakar says, while the command center will still be required to unlock your fleet commander's abilities, those requirements have been greatly reduced. In addition, fleet commander rank requirements have been lowered across the board, something that was not mentioned in today's video. To me, across the board means all fleet commanders, but only Lorca has lower requirements. Is that correct? That is correct. Only Lorca has those lower requirements. I believe what they meant, the way that they described it to me, and again, Scopely's great with words, across the board actually meant to do with all of his skills. All of his skills from rank 1 to rank 5 skills were reduced in the level of fleet commander or the level of command center that it's required to unlock. You will still need to have a higher command center and a higher fleet commander tier to get them maxed out, but they wanted to give players access to more of the skills earlier. So, quote unquote, across the board was essentially all three of his columns from tier 1 to tier 5. All of his skills have had lowered skill point requirements and command center requirements as compared to the other fleet commanders. That's what they meant. But it is not retroactive. It is Lorca only.
That's right. Just like the artifact changes, the artifacts will be easier to advance through, but we're talking about the new ones. We're not going back retroactively to the ones that we're all in the middle of unlocking. So be advised for that. But the welcome changes there. It's easier to advance this new content in the game, and I'm all for that. DJ, I do have a question for you though. Is there a lock on that 5th and final fleet commander slot that we are available to purchase in the pack for $99?
What do you mean?
For example, I spend $99 and I unlock that 5th fleet commander spot. As you can in the store, it's there right now. But then let's say that after you do that, it doesn't unlock the fleet commander spot. Is there?
Are you asking for you or?
Hold on. You asking for a friend here? No. So. What
gift tab?
Yeah, you're supposed to check your gift tab. So if you bought the pack, they're throwing a gift.
Oh, I hate it when they do that. I never think to do that.
Yeah. So when you buy the pack, if you buy the fleet commander slot, go in to the gift section. As a matter of fact, I will gladly demonstrate it for you because I'm totally buying it.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I got it already.
Yeah, I'm doing it. There's no doubt about it. I'm doing it. Here it is, the Fleet Commander Slot 2 Elite Unlock.
Yeah.
That is a
You get some Lorca in there. You get some Lorca.
No-brainer for me. So we'll click
Yeah.
on the button, and what's going to happen is I'm going to pay. I'm going to do that, and it's going to pop up in the game. Let me go back to the game. Sorry, I'm just pulling out my purchase information there, and it does have Lorca skill points, which is nice. So we're going to wait for the game to proc here. There we go. So we got it. For those of you in podcast, I am spending money irresponsibly. So I just bought the pack for the Fleet Commander slot. Now I'm going to come over here to my gifts section, and inside the gifts section, there should be a token claim, and there it is on the left side. Fleet Commander slot, Elite 2 unlock. I'm going to claim that bundle. It's going to give me the Fleet Commander seat, and then I'm going to come over here into the Fleet Commander section, and now I'm going to see all 5 of my slots, and indeed, there it is. I've got my one, then I've got my second paid. I got my Syndicate 41. There was a second one, right? In there, wasn't there 2 for free?
Event store.
2 for free, 1 paid / event store, and then Syndicate 40, right? I think.
Yes.
Command Center 40 unlocks the second one. I thought it was Syndicate 25. I might be wrong. All right, so 1 free. Command Center 40 unlocks 1. Syndicate 40 unlocks another. The 4th one was paid / earned in the last event store. And now the 5th one will be paid, and there you go. There's my 5. What's going to go in there?
Lorca.
Yeah, Lorca's going in there.
Lorca's going to go on 1.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah,
so I'll probably put 7. I'll put 7 up here. 7 goes in the
That would mirror
in the 5th
what
slot.
I do. That would then perfectly mirror, and I don't have Locutus.
Yeah, Lorca will always
Mounted.
be the first slot, always, because he's got the active ability. All right, so Lorca's always in that first slot. Then I got Spock, Kirk, Sloan, and 7. I don't have Janeway. I probably might consider putting Janeway up there, but I don't have her. I never bought her.
Gotcha.
Oh, you know what? I
Okay.
dropped Spock for Janeway.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
You
I
dropped
did,
Spock
unless
for
there's an
Janeway,
event
not
leaking or
7?
something.
Why do you keep 7 in a chair? What is it that she gives you?
I don't
That-
have
that you
Janeway.
want
No, I literally don't have Janeway.
No, I'm
It's either
talking to
7.
Griffin now.
It's either 7 or Locutus, and I feel like 7's better than Locutus.
Because I'm secretly in love with Jerry Ryan.
Well, I am too, but
By the
I
way-
look at her skills and
By the way,
not
Jerry
giving her a
Ryan, unfortunately, we're going to miss her in Nashville. She just confirmed for the Chicago Star Trek convention. Jerry Ryan, yeah, she's going to be there for the Chicago one. Not
man.
Nashville, but she's going to Chicago. So
Fine, Jerry, be that way.
you're going to miss that one there. But, yeah, and she's going to be on the cruise, though. By the way, I should point out, there are still seats. There are still rooms available on that cruise if you want to buy some. They're a little pricey. Well, they're up there, but there's still some available. Just throwing that out there.
I have never been more glad that we have the owner suite DJs because we'll probably be able to hobnob with the
That's not happening.
If
Oh,
Brent
no.
Spiner were on the ship, then he would definitely be our neighbor. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, that's not happening. Who won the cruise? Somebody's going to have to remind me and come back. Was it K?
You said it wrong. You said it wrong 20 times.
Okay, well, who
But I'm
was
sure
it?
you have it documented. You don't have a
It was
spreadsheet open?
Karkin.
It was not.
Karkin, that's right.
I
Karkin.
didn't even write it down. I'm
K-A-R-K-U-N.
going to have to go back and watch the beginning of the
You didn't
video.
write it down.
Kinrun.
Oh my God.
Kinrun.
Yes, Kinrun.
Kinrun.
That sounds very European.
Kinrun was our second winner. The first winner was unable to go. Darkfire says, who won the $100 pack repull? I haven't pulled it yet. I'm waiting until we actually give away the prize, the cruise, and then we'll finish up with the $100 packs. Besides, you don't want to win a $100 pack and lose your ticket for the cruise, do you? Yeah.
Oh, who would want that?
No, you're gonna wait. So anyway, yeah, Kinrun won. All right, that's what we got there. So yeah, somebody asked if I was going to buy Lorca. Well, there you go. Did already. It's on my screen. He's in slot number 1. Already did it.
DJs, we decided it would be fair to everybody if we did not count all of my entries for the cruise for the sake of just being fair and
yeah, I
transparent.
took them all
to
out.
everybody.
I literally deleted all of them.
How many were there that you deleted?
Honestly, I don't know. I could go back to the original. Yeah, I couldn't use the Google Sheet for that. I've got a master list. I could go back to the master list and figure it out.
Well, because you keep saying you had 30,000 entries. I'm betting you have more like 40,000 entries.
There were, well, no, you didn't have 10,000 because you and Seth were probably pretty equal. So I'd say you probably had 5.
That's why I'm asking, because I just want to see if I beat Moopsy by 1 like I was intending to.
Well, I can go and count. I don't know how many you would have. I would imagine that you and Seth were probably pretty neck and neck.
Question for another day.
Yeah. JP says, DJ, if you only had 2 slots, who would you pair Lorca with?
Ooh, good question.
Kirk.
Ooh.
Kirk, you got to have Kirk.
I would swap them out. Spock when I'm building, and Spock when I'm building. Kirk when I'm grinding.
On the weekends, Spock for sure for the events and the SLBs. That's a no-brainer. Kirk, the rest for the impulse alone, I always go with Kirk. And then I really like a lot of what Sloane's brought to the game. So that would be.
I was gonna say, like, if you've got Sloane, I might take, even though I love the impulse with Kirk. I think Sloane, like the buffs you get from Sloane are a lot more powerful, and you do get impulse from Lorca.
You do get impulse from Lorca, but when I unseat Kirk, I always feel like my ship has a flat tire. Like I need to call AAA because everything's taking so much longer to get from here to there.
I do think
I did it one time.
Jonathan Inger is telling me I should take out 7 of 9 and put Locutus in. Okay, I could look at doing that.
Ooh, really?
I don't know. Really? I'll compare because I don't have time to do this tonight, but I do want to look through Gabriel Lorca, the entire skill tree. It is remarkably good, and I do have some skill points to spend. Yeah. If you take a look, I got 4,000 skill points. And by the way, before anybody says anything, no, Scopely did not give me Lorca. They offered Lorca, but they weren't doing it until next week, and I said, no, I want to do it for the community, so I did it. I paid for that. That is mine. I have multiphasics to prove it. Yeah, right there. Boom. See, I'm in the multiphasic hunter event. I've got those to prove it. I bought Lorca all by myself. Scopely offered it, but not until next week. So, and I actually was going to do it tonight. Now I probably could have waited on the free grant because I'm not going to do it tonight.
You're a sleepy kitty cat. You're a dirty, sleepy, stream canceling kitty cat.
Yeah.
And now we have the new building to talk about. We have like 10 Jules Verne spreadsheets that we haven't even looked at. We've got Lorca. We've got all these things. Oh, but there's nothing to do in the game this month. There's like 50 things to talk about.
Listen, yeah, but every single one of them costs a credit card swipe. Okay, let's not get it twisted. All right.
I'm not getting that twisted. I'm just saying that they simply exist and people may be compelled to participate if only they were educated about their features and benefits.
We are going to talk about Lorca. We are going to talk about the Nova Squad building. But Lorca, I really was genuinely going to do it tonight. That's why I bought it, was to do it tonight. But it's already 10 o'clock. I'm hungry. I haven't had dinner. And
you know what else costs a credit card swipe? You know what else costs a credit card swipe?
What's that?
Prepaid service at any car dealership. Yet, did you talk about it every single time you sold a car? I rest my case.
I was a salesperson. I ain't a salesperson today, dude.
Okay.
I'm saying that.
Not if you ask half the audience, apparently.
Well, they do call me shill. All right, here's what we got to do. I'm taking a look at the sub goals for today, Griffin. Before we get ready to go. Now, real quick, I'm going to ask the community this only because this is a podcast and I think it's fair. We did hit our daily sub goal, which means I've got a $100 pack and 5 battle passes to give. We are 1,400 bits shy on the other 2 battle passes. So if somebody's going to come up with that, we'll do that. But we are missing those 2 battle passes. If we do the daily sub goal, which is a $100 pack and 5 battle passes, I would like to give the $100 pack to the Twitch audience because that is your sub goal. I feel like the 5 battle passes were added value, and I would like to give those away in the podcast audience using the Spam It bot. Is there any objection to that? Because those were the extras, and we always give battle passes away to the entire community. That would require podcast and allowing people to listen to the stream over the next couple of days and get registered in the Spam It room. Is our Spam It bot even working? Because I'm not 1,000% sure it is.
Last time I checked, no, I don't know. Only you would know that.
Let me check here. Oh, yep, it is working. All right, so let's hop down into the Spam It room. And I'm going to do Spam It, reset. Spam It, reset. All right. There you go. Ooh, the Spam It bot is actually working. Now, please don't go crash it. Please don't go crash it.
What is that supposed to mean?
It's only working for moderators right now. Hang on. Let me...
Well, that's,
all right, hang on. Let me
that.
unlock it. There you go. Okay. And you know what? I should put slow mode in here. No, that's not going to matter, is it? All right, there you go. Oh, it's going to crash.
There they go. There we go.
Oh, the room was closed. Sorry about that. Yeah, you guys are going to kill it. The slow mode isn't going to help, Aaron, because everybody's only going to type one at a time, but it's just a quantity of people.
Yeah, but people may try typing multiple times just to make sure that they've had it. So if you put slow mode, at least it eliminates some of it.
That's true.
Potential.
Because I'm seeing a lot of people
it's already
who are not
on slow mode.
Up.
It's already on a 1 minute slow mode. People, I didn't realize this. I had already done it. Apparently, it's already on a 1 minute slow mode.
Only spam the spam bot once.
I don't see it because I'm on a mod, so.
And it doesn't work in Twitch chat, you guys. You go to the Discord. Listen, here in Twitch chat, you guys hang out. We're going to play a game of marbles. We'll play a game of marbles for the $100 pack. But don't do the spam in Twitch chat. You got to do that in Discord, and we will draw that this coming Sunday, Griffin. I will not be around to stream this weekend. Listen, we are in the midst of football season.
What do you mean you're gonna pull it offline on Sunday? I see.
Yeah, we'll do the drawing for the 5 battle passes on Sunday. And somebody just gave bits. Who did that? Who just gave the bits?
I don't know.
Griffin. Thank you, Griffin, buddy. Thank you. Raj, Wood Cannon, Griffin, and Broken Wolf. All coming in with the bits to get us over 10,000. So now we've got 2 battle passes. So we'll do a $100 pack and 2 battle passes tonight here on Twitch, because that was your guys' goal, and 5 battle passes for the podcast audience over in the Spam It room. Go and type anything in the Spam It room and get registered for that. And we'll give those away on Sunday. I am going to do a show on Sunday, Wolfwood. That is my plan. But we are in football season, which means the Friday and Saturday streams are not going to happen. No, I'm talking about high school football, Griffin. Meaning that
high school football. You're going to go see the mini DJs play.
Yep, I'm going to go watch Landon and Noah play football tomorrow night. So I will be leaving right after work and headed up to their football stadium. So there will be nothing tomorrow. I stay in a hotel Friday night because it's late. And I will drive back on Saturday, and then I will probably chill and relax and do some housework. Sunday, we will do a show, and I promise Sunday we will fully explore Lorca. We will dive in to the Talking Trek laboratory. We'll see if we can get the ever-coveted appearance from Jules Verne and get him on to talk a little bit about Fleet Commander Gabriel Lorca and really, truthfully, guys, what he is offering to the game. It's kind of wild. I'm going to summarize this right here. People can, I don't think it's a shilly thing to say, so correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys also do some research and prove me wrong. I am finding multiple primes in one.
I am indeed seeing the exact same thing, and it's definitely where. Ooh, first time chatter, McIlroy. Hello, how are you?
What's up, McIlroy? For the marbles. What you doing, McIlroy?
We'll do that next. We are now doing the other thing in the Discord.
The Sanguinator says you mispronounced power creep. Well, that is true, very much. Well, but there are multiple primes enveloped inside Gabriel Lorca, and we're going to talk about those and even the finite way to spend your skill points. Listen, I bought the Fleet Commander slot, and I bought Gabriel Lorca. I've got 4,000 skill points. We're going to have to spend them very, very carefully, and I'm going to let Jules Verne help me spend those 4,000 this coming weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about those and what, if you're not going to buy extra skill points, but you are going to buy Lorca, how do you spend your very valuable and coveted and ungrindable Lorca skill points right now? How are you going to do that? We're going to talk about that. That's right. Jules says you get more if you max level him. That's right. I didn't think about that.
What?
Didn't think about that. Well, you get skill points every time you level him up with the.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, Jules Verne, glad to see you in the chat. Hope things are going well for you, man. I know you've been super busy. Hope that you can join us on Sunday because I'm going to give you 5,000 or 6,000 skill points to spend, and you're going to have to get me the most number of primes possible. We're going to let you map that out. With that, thank you guys so very, very much for hanging out and being in our audience. I'm going to get ready to pull up marbles. We have 2 battle passes and one $100 pack to give away here on stream, and I'm going to do that with 1 race if that's okay because I am really ready to go. So that'll be the top 3 winners. Top 3 winners will get the number 1 winner will get the $100 pack. And the next 2 winners will win battle passes. You must DM me on Discord for you to claim your prize. I will not chase you down. Here we go. So I'm going to pull this up on screen. You guys will have an opportunity to come on in and enter exclamation point play for you to come in and win a free $100 pack. And thank you guys again for hitting today's sub and bit goals. You guys are absolutely incredible. Really appreciate that. I should also point out next week is going to have a little bit of an abbreviated schedule. Griffin, we are planning the Sunday show. We are planning a Tuesday show. That will be it. Because Tuesday will be the last show of the last studio show, because then Thursday, both you and I are traveling to Murphy's. I can't say that. It's not Murfreesboro. It's Murphy. But we're going to Nashville. We're going to Nashville. All right, going to the Nashville suburbs. So we're going to be headed to Nashville on Thursday, where Friday we will begin a very heavy content series. We're going to be streaming a lot. We're going to be recording a lot of content. We've got YouTube videos that we'll be releasing, interviews with the stars. By the way, how's the Peyton List video coming?
It's coming great.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming great.
Yeah. Is it ready to launch?
Yeah. I could, you could, it's on YouTube right now. You want to pull it up?
You're lying.
Hold on. I'll get you a link for it. You want to play marbles? Go ahead. You're
lying. You're serious? The Peyton List video's up? I would be very excited.
Play your marbles.
No. I want to see it.
No, well, I need a second to get the link. Do the marble, and then I'll have a link for you. Hold on.
It's not up, is it?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm giving you the link right now. Why don't you play your marbles, and then I'll have the link for you.
I feel like I'm getting ready to get trolled. All right, the game of marbles is afoot. Exclamation point play. Tough. Thanks for being a first-time chatter. Appreciate you being here. First-time chatter, always welcome into the litter box. Appreciate it. They say Murfreesboro. Murfreesboro? But it's spelled with an R after the F. It's spelled Murphree. So wait, they say Murfreesboro? Well, that's a lot easier to say. Murfreesboro. That's where we're going to be. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, lots of content coming your way. More recorded stuff that we will release after the fact, and so that's all very exciting. All right, exclamation point play. 10 seconds on the clock. Exclamation point play. We got 198 players in. They want to win a battle pass. They want to win a fleet commander. They want to win a new fleet commander slot. So let's see who is going to have the opportunity to do that here tonight. Beat for the Gods, taking off on an early lead, but this track is extremely deceptive and very much Rainbow Road style, as you can already see Brett, Elrose, Zoidberg, Yodi, and everybody just flying off the track. There goes Beat for the Gods. Swifty just fell off the track. These guys are getting absolutely pummeled off the track, but we do see some people actually making their way ahead. If we come over here and take a look, there's Donzino, Alaris, Ginmon. Wow, what luck. There is Q Trial, who fell off the track, but fell onto the bottom layer of the track near the finish line. There's Q Trial, Sherlock Holmes, Still a Freak, Shiny, making their way. That was an unbelievable stroke of luck. And there's Q Trial and Still a Freak literally getting their balls stuck together. And
that's never happened before.
and not proceeding. Shiny actually taking the lead on the track. There goes Still a Freak, Q-Trell, and Shiny all vying for the top 3 spots. There they are. Down the stretch they come into another set of traps where it looks like Still a Freak and Shiny have made their way through. There's GP, 285, making his way through that trap. Still a Freak is absolutely flying through this next set of traps, but there goes Shiny, who has jumped into the first place spot and is circling the final ramp. Is he going to make it in, or is Still a Freak going to hit that final hole? Who is it going to be? Who is going to fall in first? There, he just fell off the track.
Oh, no.
But he did cross the finish line. Still a Freak is our winner. Holy smokes. What a race right there. Still a Freak winning a $100 $100 pack Snack Attack and Q Trial, winning a free Battle Pass. Congratulations to the 3 of you being our winners here tonight on the show. Thank you guys so very much for listening to the show and being a part of our live studio audience. Thank you guys so very, very much for being here. That's a good track. Yeah, that one was all right, man. That one was pretty daggone good. Congratulations. Still a freak for your $100 pack. I'm sure that he's going to pick up on Lorca right there. That would be wise, all right? You guys be sure to do that. Snack Attack and Q Trial DM me over on Discord to claim your battle passes. My name is Ultimate DJs. Thanking you guys for being a part of our show. Griffin, live long and prosper, my friend. Thank you very much for being here.
Around.
We'll see you guys here in just a couple of days in Nashville, Tennessee. We'll be back with you guys this coming Sunday for a regularly scheduled podcast recording, and we're going to hang out and have a little bit of fun, all right? In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and bounce on out of here and invite you guys to visit our website at TalkingTrekSTFC.com. That's TalkingTrekSTFC.com, where you can find links over to our merch store, where we do have some new merch. Candy is getting ready to work on some new stuff. As a matter of fact, we're getting ready to see the return of the ever-coveted Talking Trek blanket. That is going to be coming back very, very soon. Candy and I are getting ready to start working on that. So you can check out some merch and enjoy repping your Talking Trek community, litter box, wherever you may go. Appreciate you guys hooking up on that merch. Also find links to our YouTube channel and our Patreon program, where amazing players contribute financially to the show. I still have not updated that list. I'm a terrible, terrible kitty. I'm going to do it. I promise. I promise I'm going to do it as soon as I write that stupid news. All right, but I do want to thank all of our Patreons. You know what? They're gold. Anybody who supports the show, they're gold on our Discord, whether it's through Patreon, YouTube, or here on Twitch. Thank you guys so very, very much. I genuinely appreciate your support. I could not do this without you guys. We couldn't do the big promotions. We couldn't do the big travel. We couldn't do the studio improvements. You guys absolutely humble me every single time we do a show. Thank you guys so very, very much. My name is Ultimate DJs for Talking Trek Live, an official podcast of Star Trek Fleet Command and a registered trademark, and recorded in front of a live studio audience for distribution across podcast platforms everywhere. I am your friendly neighborhood cat person saying meow for now. Love you, mean it. We will catch you on the next one. You guys have a great night, all right? Pieces! Love ya! Be good! Bye-bye!